If you've ever wished that you've paid less taxes, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's PreMarket Playbook. And indeed, it is tax day. Sad day for some. And we're going to make the best of it here. We've got more news to go through. We've got more trades to take here today. We've got Tim Melvin here today. I know everybody's excited about Tim Melvin. And we survived, I don't know if you're in the Midwest, we survived some crazy thunderstorms last night and all of that. So I hope all of you had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. It is hump day. It is Wednesday now. We are going to make the best of this. Benzinga's PreMarket Playbook, the Wednesday edition for April 15th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. I hope that you had a wonderful night last night or a wonderful rest of your day. Looks like we are looking at about unchanged or a little bit of green arrows here in the pre-market. Jane is first here today. Jane, what's going on? Good morning. Congrats on being first. Hope you're doing well and hope the rest of your Tuesday was awesome. Derek, good morning. Welcome back. Richard Judge, good morning. Welcome back. Whis, good morning. Welcome back. It's great to see you as always, boss. Peter, welcome back. Zach, welcome back. Big Dave, welcome back. Marty says, if you've ever eaten all the charms out of the Lucky Charms box and waited to see the reaction of your brothers, then hit that like button. That is so good. That is so good, mostly because I've actually done that. When I was a kid, I would dump the Lucky Charms into a huge bowl, and I would separate all of the marshmallows, or the charms, as you call them, into a separate bowl, pour some milk into that, live like a king for 5 minutes, and then face the wrath of my siblings when the Lucky Charms has no more charms in them. So that's actually a really good one, Marty. I may reuse that at some point in the future. Been there, done that myself. Proud, or maybe not proud to admit. Crispy Biscuit, good morning. Welcome back. It's great to see you. Florida Yacht Insurance Guy. Yo, good morning. Where you been, bro? Good to see you again. Hopefully all is well in your corner of the world. Empyrean, good morning. Welcome back. Producer, good morning. As always, welcome back. Producer, I found out yesterday or the day before, or whichever day it was, might have been Monday, found out that he missed the shout out that I gave him about him whooping everybody in golf. So I guess we'll throw that out here now that we know he's here. Producer was swinging the sticks better than anyone else on that last trip, so something to be proud of. Florida Yacht Insurance has been bag holding a bit, waiting for the gains to come back. Hopefully they are back. What were you bag holding? What lessons did you learn from that? Perhaps more importantly. Human Chat Scanner Billy, good morning. Welcome back. VSA, indeed, you're saying room to four, or wait, room on the 4-hour chart. Good morning. Okay, lot in there. VSA here ripping in the pre-market, and I've got it up here. 145 looks to be the high print. I'm sure we'll check in on that when we get back to the movers. And the same is true for kids. I'm sure we'll take a look at that as well. Carlos, good morning. Welcome back. It's great to see you. Reaching Financial Freedom, one of my favorite names in the chat. Good morning. Welcome back. 08 Roush Stage 3. Good morning. Welcome back. Jesse. Hey, Jesse. Great to see you again as well. Hope all is well. Was actually just in Detroit. I hope everyone was safe through last night's severe thunderstorms. How were they by you? I know here in Illinois, starting at like 8:30 Central, the sky off to the west just was constant flashing from lightning. And I was like, I don't know if I've seen this much lightning before. I laid down in bed and I can see out my window and it looks west. And I was like, oh man, this is a crazy light show, but no trees are down, at least not that I'm aware. My power never went out. Nothing bad happened. Knock on wood. Hopefully that's the case for everybody else. Wild thunderstorms. They were cool to see though. Kenneth, good morning. Welcome back. Dara, good morning. Welcome back. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. Marionette, good morning and good evening to you. And don't forget to hit that like button. Marionette on top of this every day, and we appreciate that. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button out there. And you can also click the bell for notifications on when we go live and all of that fun stuff. EKS, good morning. Welcome back. Trump says he will fire Feds Powell if he doesn't leave on time. Oh, great. Here we go again, right? Here we go again. We're going to have a slew of more Fed headlines. Oh, yawn. Sorry. Linda, good morning. Welcome back. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Acorns, good morning. Welcome back. Scott, good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you. Cam, good morning. Welcome back. Tax day is the worst day of the year for the U.S. stock market, according to EKS. I'm not, you know what? I won't even dispute that. I don't know what the stats are on it. Let me know where you got those stats, if indeed you did get them. I know it's a bummer, but that's actually really good information for us to know. If there are people selling here on tax day and it is traditionally the worst day of the year, then maybe don't overreact to any kind of down move we get, right? Let me know if you have stats for that and where you got them. Ed, good morning. Hump day, is it payday? Roller rolled over. Ed, we make every day payday here, or we can anyway. Cam says cage match incoming. That is, it takes two to do a cage match. I will say, after someone joked about it yesterday, when I saw Tim last night, I told him, I was like, hey, are you still on for that cage match with Lion? And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna rip him up. I'm gonna rip him up, and I'm gonna kill him. So effectively, he didn't say that, but that's what he was insinuating. And then right after he goes through that, he goes, what were we arguing about again? It's just rather amusing. A very Tim-esque comment. Frankly. Acorn says the early bird gets the word and the second mouse gets the cheese. Okay. Guess I need to think about that one a little bit more. That's all right. Good to see you again. Canarp, good morning. Welcome back. Tyler, good morning. Welcome back. Time to have a great day. Green to come. I don't know. Judging by EKS's stats, maybe we don't, but we'll see how it goes. Dirkus, good morning. Welcome back. Thinking about it. Good morning. Welcome back. Thinking about it. Posting some news here on Watt, W-A-T-T. Continued commercial momentum, expanding Fortune 10 developments, and a growing multi-vertical proof of concept pipeline. Sounds good. That stock's been a day trading stock for a long time. So I would take everything with that company with a grain of salt. But if it's up here today, get ready. Kelly, good morning. Welcome back. Chris, hello, friends. I love the Jim Nantz impression. It's absolutely awesome. Good morning, Chris. It's great to see you again. I've been hearing rumors that J.J. McCarthy's going to get traded because they found their quarterback with Kyler. Let me know what you think about that. I'd be curious to know if you have the inside scoop on any of that. Captain Cloudy, good morning. HP Darkside Hemi, good morning. Maverick, good morning. Big Grip, good morning. Asmar, good morning. Izzy, good morning. It's great to see you, my man. Robot, good morning. Jay, good morning. Good to see you again as well. Just passing through, good morning. Happy tax day. Yeah, maybe. Definitely, I definitely have someone do it for me. That really reduces the stress for tax day. It's all done, all wrapped up. Rustam, good morning. Welcome back. Rustam's looking at G Pro. That's going to be one of our movers. Okay. Danya says, do you talk about stocks on this channel or just address the comments? LOL, this must be your first time here. We go for 3 hours and the first 5 minutes are addressing some of the comments. I was raised to say hello to people, and we get the same people that come back here all the time. So I definitely want to say good morning and welcome to them. But yes, we will absolutely get to stocks. In fact, we're going to get to that here in just a sec. Hopefully you enjoy your time here. Cam, Kenja, good morning. Austin, good morning. And Canarp. Okay, Asia's green, so it's going to be an update. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that carries over to our markets. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started with our stock market today. All right, so we've got futures that are in the green, but mostly near flat here this morning. S&P futures up 0.04% ahead of Wednesday's open. Dow futures are exactly flat, 0.00. And the NASDAQ actually turned red here just in the last couple of seconds, down by 0.05%. So pretty much dancing around unchanged at this point. Let's take a look at some cues from last session, however, and see what the market did and what it may do here today. Tuesday saw communication services, information technology, and consumer discretionary stocks record the biggest gains, leading most S&P 500 sectors to a positive finish, while energy and material shares lost ground against the trend. Now, U.S. stocks fluctuated on Wednesday following Tuesday's rally. Futures of major benchmark indices were mixed. And on Tuesday, President Trump fueled the de-escalation narrative, saying that the Iran talks, quote, could be happening over the next 2 days, unquote, in Pakistan. The fresh Trump comments built on Vice President J.D. Vance's comments, saying that he flagged, quote, a lot of progress, end quote, in the weekend talks with Iranian officials that was held in Islamabad. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.25%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.76%. The CME Group's Fed Watch Tool projections show the markets are pricing in a 99.5% likelihood of the Federal Reserve leaving the current interest rates unchanged in its April meeting. Now, we've got several stocks in focus here for you today. The first one is going to be ASML, which reported earnings here today. ASML Holdings, or ticker ASML, rose 1.35% in the pre-market on Wednesday after the company announced its first quarter earnings, which beat expectations and raised its 2026 revenue outlook. That EPS print, the Q1 EPS of $8.37, beat the $7.72 estimate. Sales of $10.26 billion beat the $10.21 billion estimate. And ASML guides Q2 2026 net sales at 8.4 to 9 billion euro and raised the full year revenue outlook to 36 to 40 billion euro. That was amid very robust chip demand. The next stock on our list is going to be TeraWulf, and this is Wolf with the U. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. It was moving quite a bit throughout the course of the day. It looks like we've got some more news here. TeraWulf, or Wolf, declined 5.16% after reporting preliminary results and announcing a common stock offering after the market closed on Tuesday. So there you go. Those offerings occasionally show up after stocks have a big move. We try to flag those for you. Looks like that's what happened with Wolf yesterday. The next stock on our list is going to be Stellantis, and the ticker on this one is STLA. It jumped 3.19% after reporting estimated first quarter consolidation shipments of 1.4 million units, which was up 12% year over year for the 3 months that ended March 31st, 2026. Growth was led by enlarged Europe and North America, with notable increases in Leapmotor and smart car platform nameplates. The next stock on our list is going to be Broadcom. Looking at you, Jay Harris. Broadcom is ticker AVGO and was up 3.21% after it announced a partnership with Meta, ticker META, for custom AI chips. And the last stock on our list here is going to be GitLab. This is ticker GTLB, and it jumped 7.07% after the company announced a collaboration with Alphabet, or ticker GOOG's Google Cloud. All right, let's take a look at the SPY chart. We've done some pretty significant work. 10 days. Yesterday marked 10 days of up movement in the broader market. It's actually, I saw Ryan Dietrich very early this morning say this is one of the best rallies of all time in such a short amount of time. Again, just kind of setting the stage here, we had a nice little rebound off about 630-ish on the SPY. This brought us up to the 200, where we were wondering if we were going to run into any type of resistance and then maybe roll back over and test those lows. Well, we got the absolute opposite of that. We gapped through it, went above the 50. We've continued to push higher here. And notably yesterday, we actually pushed through the resistance line, or the trend line, that connected the all-time highs that we had here on SPY. So the question is, what's next? Now, the keen observer will realize that this move up, albeit impressive, was done so on very, very light volume. You can see it here by the volume sticks. It definitely feels, by market participation, that a number of people might have been caught off sides for this. There might have been folks that were short. There might just be folks that don't really buy, that were close to the end of all of this conflict and all of the things that are kind of overhanging the market. But the market is telling you where it's going, and it continues to be strong. We'll see if we get another update here today. The one thing that I want to do to this chart is I'm actually going to extend the trend line that originates on October 29th of 2025 and connects some of the all-time highs on the way up into the end of 2025. What I'm going to do now is basically just take this exact same trend line and extend it out so we can interact with some of the pricing from the current action. And if we look at today, I've got a resistance here at just about 705. So The all-time high is like that 697.84, whatever the exact number is. Then we have the round 700 number, which is just going to have one of those psychological kind of resistance areas on it. And then we have this trend line here. And I'll be honest, I would not be terribly shocked if we traded up to the trend line, found some resistance, and pulled back. If we do that, the next question is going to become, well, what does the pullback entail? How much are we pulling back? And I'd like to outline two really quick scenarios for you. The first one would be a trade up towards 705, run into some resistance, unable to break it, and then a move back down. In that case, if we get that and we're able to back test and hold the trend line that we just broke out of, I actually think that might set up for a potential swing long. And if you zoom out a little bit, we've got this little V, and then you kind of have the corrective handle, almost like you would see on a cup and handle, and then a possible move back to the upside. So one possible scenario here, if everything goes well, we get good news and earnings continue to be strong and all of that, possible situation here is a move up towards 705, maybe even a little bit of an overshoot on that, and then a back test of the trend line. If we get that, that would be great. If we don't get that, if we either A, don't test the upside trend line, or simply give back the breakout that we did yesterday, if we give that back here today, you actually have some concern sitting right beneath us. We do have two moving averages. So they have the 100 and the 50. Both of those have multiple closes above them now, so they should act as support. But we're also staring at a gap right beneath that. And it's not just a normal gap. There's several other things going on with this gap. Number one, the gap completely encompasses the previous breakout in support area. That's about 667 to 673.5. That entire area has acted as both support and resistance when the SPY has interacted with it. We gapped above that. So if we start to roll back over, you could absolutely make the case that the market's going to look to fill that gap. And it's been an important one for some time. It's not just some new thing that's kind of come around. The other thing is that if we start to move back down, by the time we get down to the bottom end of the support area, the 200-day, the dark blue line on the chart you're looking at, should have come up a little bit to help support that. So we'll see if we actually get a gap filled. Does it find some support at the 200? A lot can happen in there. Furthermore, the 20-day moving average, that's actually going to be higher than the 200 by the time we get down there, I think. Just because it responds quicker, that might also help support it. So if we roll back over, we have a number of support areas that we can look to maybe take new trades against. And if we're able to break all of that and we continue to roll down, if we get bad macro news, maybe some poor earnings or something of that nature, maybe that then would be the catalyst to retest 630 to the downside and then maybe even hunt for some lower equilibrium levels. We'll see if we end up getting that. But this is one of the things that I'm looking at here for SPY. Do we continue to trade up? Do we find resistance at about 705? Okay, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. Let me go back to the news story real quick. According to BlackRock's commentary, the firm has shifted to a more aggressive stance, moving to overweight U.S. stocks. This tactical upside is driven by a contained damage to global growth from the Middle East conflict and robust corporate earnings. Despite the recent breakdown of the U.S.-Iran negotiations, BlackRock views the attempt at diplomacy as, quote, evidence of an economic incentive to end the conflict, end quote. Economically, BlackRock is monitoring the U.S. Producer Price Index, or PPI, to determine if, quote, energy-driven cost pressures keep pushing prices up, end quote. While headline inflation has surged due to energy costs, the impact on core inflation remains limited. However, the firm warns that inflation is still too high to meet the Federal Reserve's 2% target, effectively dimming hopes for rate cuts in 2026. And that's really the key. Do we get any cuts? Is there anyone in the camp that thinks we get a hike? Producer, maybe we should run a poll now that some more things have kind of bled through the system here. Maybe we should re-poll the group and see, are we getting rate cuts this year? If so, are we getting one or two? Are we getting zero or are we getting a hike? That seems like four pretty good options for a poll. Maybe we should run that and see what the temperature of the group is here. But I digress. Within the equity market, the artificial intelligence theme remains a primary driver. No shock there. BlackRock notes that tech valuations premium has eroded, yet the sector's earnings growth is projected at 43% for 2026. Maintain a relative preference for U.S. equities, believing that they will hold up better even if, quote, absolute performance disappoints, end quote. And there's just another reminder here on some of the economic data that we're facing here today. The import price index for March and the Empire State Manufacturing Survey for April will be released at 8:30. That's coming in 10 minutes here. Fed Governor Michael Barr is scheduled to speak at 8:30, and the Vice Chair of Supervision, Michelle Bowman, will speak at 1:45 p.m. Reverse that. All right. Thought this was a pretty interesting story here. Data center boom might be a new inflation variable for the Fed. Well, that's great because we didn't have enough variables for the Fed. So it's great that we have one more now. And sarcasm. The AI arms race is starting to look less like a Silicon Valley spending story and more like a new macro variable. Meta Platforms, again, ticker META, their capital expenditures are nearing $100 billion. Alphabet, ticker GOOG, is around $85 billion, and Microsoft, ticker MSFT, is spending roughly $30 billion a quarter. Meanwhile, total undiscounted future commitments in the sector have reached close to $1 trillion. At that scale, BlackRock, ticker BLK, micro is macro line sounds less like a slogan and more like a policy problem. Unlike typical macro issues such as wage inflation or an oil shock, the market now faces a concentrated capital spending boom that is bidding up scarce inputs, i.e., RAM and memory. Water, land, power, and grid equipment all face the same AI-driven pressure, turning the hottest sectors of the 2020s into an inflation story. The squeeze matters because it shows how AI's first economic effect might not be cheaper labor or a broad productivity windfall. It may be tighter capacity. Hyperscalers are pulling forward years of infrastructure demand into a compressed period. Labor incentives, as reported by Bloomberg, show desperation to get the work done. But the same forces that support growth are also creating bottlenecks. David Doyle of McCary Group's head of economics noted how data points to a quick trend reversal. Quote, producer price index for semiconductors, which has been in a prolonged downtrend, not just disinflation, but deflation for several decades. In the last year, it has turned sharply upward, end quote. And he said that for BNN Bloomberg. Other pressure points are emerging as well. Computer software and accessories rose 4% month over month in March's CPI report cited in the source material, while retail electricity prices were running at about 5 to 6% higher year over year. The data demand rally is beginning to show up in political pressure. In 2026, New York, Maine, Oklahoma, and Georgia have all moved to restrict or disincentivize large-scale AI data center development. Cue data centers in space, of course. The strictest of the four was New York, no shock there, whose Senate Bill S9144 introduced a 3-year statewide moratorium on data centers capable of using 20 megawatts of power or more. Meanwhile, the pressure on infrastructure creates an awkward setup for the Fed. Investment-led inflation is building underneath, while goods disinflation may continue in other parts of the consumer economy. Thus, if AI spending accelerates before productivity gains spread beyond the tech, policymakers could face a contrast, an economy that is cooling at the surface but still running hot in key industrial arteries. In markets, the scenario means AI is no longer just a tech trade. It's a cross-asset trade touching semiconductors, utilities, power developers, copper miners, and even nuclear and uranium names. So very interesting. I know that there's a lot of other companies talking about the productivity gains and using AI and how important that is for their business. I've got another story here about a reduced headcount at Snap due to AI productivity gains going higher. Now it's being floated here as a potential inflation measure. I don't know about that. If anyone wants this story, there's actually a pretty good chart in here to kind of go over there. It goes on to say here, it finishes up, finally, if software estimates remain high while price action lags, it's worth keeping an eye on the discrepancy between the foundation layer over downstream productivity stories. And in layman's terms, gauging, whether the market prefers to invest in shovels during the gold rush. Like how they tied that all back. We'll see how this all shakes out here. Okay. This story, this is my favorite story of the morning. This is something that I've been saying for a long time. I think this pretty much puts the nail in the coffin in the SaaS apocalypse thought line. Just to me, I don't think AI is necessarily going to kill software companies. It's just going to empower more people. And that's exactly what this is about here. Let me cue it up here real quick. On Monday, Anthropic co-founder Jack Clark said asking the right questions is now more important than coding skills as artificial intelligence reshapes jobs and reduces demand for entry-level work. Right, excuse me, right off the top there. This to me so far in like my own like day-to-day life, this is the most impressive thing about AI. I'm someone that is extremely into technology, extremely into computers. I've been building my own since I was 13 years old, including the one that I'm currently on. And despite all of that affinity for technology, computers, and everything therein, I am not able to code my way out of a paper bag. But the advent of these AI large language models, they've made that possible for me. I'm now running several custom indicators that I've coded from my own brain, and that help me actually make trades regularly. I would not be able to do this without AI. And for me, seeing how well this works, it just tells me that someone that is better than I am is going to be able to be more effective with all of this. I'm not really surprised that this is becoming a more important skill. In fact, I've been telling you folks that if you have young kids, get them into prompting. In fact, on Happy Hour, I shared a couple of videos that were almost prompting tutorials, how to more effectively prompt the AI tool. It's one of those things, garbage in, garbage out. So might as well make sure that you're giving it the best possible input. During the Semaphore World Economy Summit, Clark said his background in English literature and creative writing unexpectedly proved useful in AI development. Quote, I'm a literature graduate, and I don't think you'd put that as a co-founder of a frontier AI company, end quote. He added that, but what turned out to be useful is that I got to learn a lot about history and a lot about the kinds of stories that we tell ourselves about the future, end quote. He also added that studying narratives and history helped him think about how societies imagine the future. Clark said the most important skill in an AI-driven economy is, quote, knowing the right questions to ask, end quote, and combining ideas across disciplines. He cautioned against focusing heavily on rote programming, arguing that technical execution is becoming easier for machines while human judgment and synthesis grow more important. Earlier, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, lost my mouse there. Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook said AI had already started disrupting the labor market with early signs of job pressure appearing in coding roles and among recent graduates. She warned that AI could displace workers before creating new opportunities, even as companies invest heavily in AI systems and infrastructure. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, ticker MSFT, said AI-driven displacement was becoming unavoidable and urged workers to adapt by developing new skills. Remember, we had a similar story for Accenture where the CEO said, you're not going to be able to get promoted if you do not utilize these tools, and then went on to say, we've given our employees plenty of time to learn these tools. Not a new thing here. Satya Nadella, said software development was among the most exposed fields as AI rapidly expanded what machines could do, comparing the shift to the early personal computer era. Inventor Vinod Khosla predicted an even more dramatic transformation, saying AI and robotics could eventually perform most jobs and sharply reduce the cost of goods and services. He argued that automation could significantly reshape economic output tied to labor and potentially make traditional work less central to future generations. So just that's a lot to say. AI ain't going anywhere, folks, and it behooves you. It behooves you to learn these tools, even more so if you're a young or recent graduate. I know, just kind of thinking about what we do here at Benzinga, we are constantly sharing with one another new tips and tricks on how we use these AI tools to boost productivity. And I would imagine we're not alone by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, I know it's almost Tim Melvin time, but I got one more story to go to here, and this one is about Nike. We talked about this a little bit yesterday on the Happy Hour program as well. Nike making some news here on some insider buys. Maybe we can actually get Tim's opinion on that. He's been very candid about what he thinks about insider buys. Nike, ticker NKE, shares are rising in the after hours on Tuesday, or they were, and they're higher here on Wednesday, amid continued insider buying. Nike CEO Elliott Hill disclosed the purchase of 23,660 shares of Nike stock at an average price of $42.27 on Tuesday. The stock purchase was made in the open market on Monday and brings Hill's total stake up to approximately 265,247 shares. Apple CEO and Nike director Tim Cook also disclosed on Tuesday that he bought more Nike shares at the end of last week. The filing shows that Cook purchased 25,000 shares at an average price of $42.43, bringing his total Nike holdings up to 130,480 shares. The purchase comes after Nike reported fiscal third quarter results at the end of March. The insider duo followed a similar playbook last quarter, purchasing company stock shortly after Nike reported second quarter earnings. Hill purchased 16,388 Nike shares on December 29, 2025 in multiple transactions at an average price of $61.10 per share, and Cook purchased 50,000 of Nike at an average price of $58.97 about a week earlier. So right there off the bat, these new open market purchases are actually a dollar cost averaging, as both of these people added more shares at higher prices. And this is one thing that I wanted to say about insider buying. I'm definitely going to get a opinion here from Tim. I see Izzy asking if Nike is a buy. Look, Nike's not a buy for me, but that's because I'm biased. I hate the shoe. I've hated the shoe for a long time. It doesn't fit my feet. I think the management is poor. I think some of the decisions that they've made are terrible. Nike is not for me. But is it depressed enough to buy now that insiders are buying shares on the open market? Is that a cue to buy? A fair question, even if I have a different view on things. The one thing I wanted to mention here about this is that please remember that people like Elliott Hill and Tim Cook, they have years, and I mean, in some cases, double-digit years before they care about seeing that money again. So if you're going to chase this, or if you're going to follow these people into these buys, make sure that your risk profile or your trade time horizon is properly set up for that. As we saw from the last insider buy, the stock traded about 15 points lower after they did that. So just because they're buying doesn't mean that the bottom is in. Insider buying is often viewed by the market as a bullish sign. Executives and directors may be signaling confidence that shares are undervalued and that the future business performance is likely to improve. And who better to know that than the CEO and someone else that's on the board? So, Izzy, you tell me. Let me know. Is Nike a buy for you? We can absolutely take a look at that chart during ticker time as well. We can kind of figure out decent entry spots for that. I see Lynn here saying Air Jordans. Look, Lynn, I'll say this. If the Jordan brand was on its own and not part of Nike, I think Nike would be in humongous trouble. Their apparel isn't good. They've got an inventory problem where they're not able to sell off excess inventory. A lot of problems going on there. So these insider buys, definitely interesting, but maybe this represents a possible buying opportunity. Okay, folks, I know we missed him last week, and I know that you folks were disappointed, but patience has prevailed because Tim Melvin is back. Let's bring him on. Tim, good morning. How you doing, boss? You are muted AF. Oh, man. Tim's got an audio issue. He's got the wrong input selected. Uh-oh. 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 Boy, oh, boy. Producer, any ideas on helping Tim fix his audio? I actually have another news story I can roll through if you want to, if you want to do that. It's got to be an input. Yeah, I think so too. We'll see if he fixes this here. Nope. No good. No good. All right. I'm gonna bump Tim to the back, producer. If you could work with him, get that fixed. I think he can hear us. Yeah, I think he can hear us too. But go ahead and get that fixed. I've got one more news story. It's very, very short. I kind of teased it already. So let me just go ahead and rip this one. Oops, that's the wrong one. It is, in fact, Walmart, and I'll spare you the technical analysis. I just want to do the actual story here. Walmart, ticker WMT, said on Wednesday that it has rolled out a major private label packaging update that keeps the focus on value. By the way, the reason I'm bringing this up is this is important because the private label brands at stores like Walmart and Costco have higher margins, and this generally has an impact on the bottom line. Walmart announced a comprehensive redesign of Great Value, its largest private brand and the largest food and consumable consumer packaged goods brand in the U.S., marking a first full refresh in more than a decade. Redesign spans nearly 10,000 food and consumable items and is built to improve, quote, shoppability, end quote, across stores and digital platforms while keeping the same products at everyday low prices. The company also reiterated its longer-term private brand roadmap, including a goal announced last fall to remove synthetic dyes from its private brand foods by January of 2027. Walmart said Great Value is in 9 out of 10 U.S. households and that it saves an average family 35% per year. So they're going to make some changes to that. It'll be very interesting to see if this is going to have an impact on the margins, if this actually helps the consumer, and what kind of carry-through effect that has. All right, Tim's back. Let's go ahead and try it. We're not even going to do the opener. We're just going to see if it works. Tim, we got audio?
I think we do.
Bang, bang. We sure do. Okay.
Somebody hit the mute button on my headphones. That usually means there's a cat involved. So
okay. So it's not your wife, it's a cat. That's probably good for your longevity. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. If my wife tried to mute me, that might have much different consequences. Let's do the Nike question first.
Yeah, please.
The $1 million buys are kind of interesting. Okay, because the stock has gotten absolutely hammered. And when you look, and Nike's yielding 3.5%, which is great growth stock, yielding 3.5%. But you said something that's exactly correct. These guys have a much longer time frame than you and I do. At 24 times earnings, I don't know that I would, be compelled to say Nike is particularly cheap. Because it's not like they're growing so fast that 24 times earnings is a 0.5 PEG ratio or something like that, right? The PEG here is actually 7, which is extraordinarily high. So, they may be doing it on the brand, what they see as the long-term future of the company, potential improvements from AI in the manufacturing process. Not sure what their rationale was. But without something else to make me feel really good about Nike, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I would blindly follow the signal here. So, if you took the insider buyout, I'm like Ryan. I would not consider this a buy. Earnings are just okay. The multiples are not cheap. There's no analyst. There's not even an outlier analyst looking for a double-digit growth rate over the next 5 years. So, as things are, with an optimistic view of the economy, the outlook's actually kind of tepid. So yeah. I don't know that I would go along there.
And here's the thing, Tim, I feel like it's just kind of, and this is just the way I think about it anecdotally, removing my own foot from the equation here. I think back, it's how long? Almost 20 years now, right? I can't remember exactly what year. It's almost 20 years now since we had that very dramatic Masters where Tiger's Nike ball pauses right on the Nike logo and then rolls into the cup. Right. We don't really see that anymore. I know a lot of the golfers had Nike apparel on this past weekend, but it didn't really stand out. Obviously, the Jordan brand, that doesn't even need to get talked about. That stands on its own. But the other thing that's really interesting here is that people that are actually into shoes, shoe collectors, people that are into buying new shoes, we constantly get reports that the shoes aren't great. They're not cool anymore. They're not trendy. And then overall, the quality is not good. So it seems to be that there's actual problems with the product as well. Now, the chart here, I get why people want to do this, right? The chart, as you said, chart's been getting pounded. Company's been getting pounded. We're probably going to see a regression back to the mean. So I get it, but at the same time, I just think there's better places to go. You mentioned the small dividend. I'd rather plug this in something that gives me a 10% dividend. If I'm going to hold it, if my time horizon is going to be long, I'd rather get paid more to hold it. The market can't take that back from me.
Exactly. All right. Now,
real quick, though, before you get into what you need to do, Tim looks sharp today. He gets his dressing ideas from Don Ives. So, Tim, we talked a little bit yesterday. There are a number of people that still want to see the cage match here between you and Lion Atlas. That's who Hamid is here. And now it looks like Lion is coming out swinging, getting names wrong on top of that. So we didn't even get Dan Ives' name correct here, but he is calling you Don Ives Jr. Any response?
I don't even know who Dan Ives is or Don Ives. No clue. Who is this imposter?
You know who Dan Ives is, though, right?
No idea.
Dan Ives is the tech perma-bull analyst on CNBC that always wears the flashy colors.
Yeah, okay. Don't care about that guy. Sorry, I don't watch CNBC, so sorry about that. Look, guys, I mean, the shirts are just getting started, okay? It's warming back up down here in Greensburg. I have like 1 million of these things, all right? So I have always done this. I always, James Montier is one of the better analysts of all time. He was on his own for a while. He was with GMO for many, many years. He's written several books. He is one of the best investors around. And he always wore ugly shirts. And you know what? It's been like an ugly shirt contest between, only in my brain, because I don't think he cares, between Montier and I for some time to see who can get the ugliest, flashiest shirts on. He's in semi-retirement, so I'm winning. Whoever this Ives guy is, man, dude, quit impersonating me. Tired of that.
Okay, that's a perfect answer. All right, let's get back down to brass tacks here, Tim. Thanks for humoring us.
All right, listen, there's a lot going on in the world, right? So, and there's a lot of uninformed opinions just being tossed out all over the place. This is what's going to happen in the war, and this is what the market's going to do, and this is what's going to happen over here, and that's what the market's going to. Guys, no, geopolitics are dominating the market outlook and picture right now. When you go to any one of the traditional big media, and I'm talking Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal, anything sites, it's not about the Empire Manufacturing Report. It's not even really all that much about the war. Got yesterday more coverage than JP Morgan's earnings report. Now, JP Morgan sees every single dollar that happens in the economy, whether you like him or hate him. And don't put your opinion in the chat because, frankly, I don't care if you like him or love him. Jamie Dimon is one of the most influential figures in all of finance. And what we're going to do in the Middle East got more coverage. Okay. And that's going to remain true until this is over. Now, so let's inject some reality into this. The Man Group, the large asset manager, and they've got a lot of alternatives, including they own Mint, Larry Height's trend following firm. They know a thing or two about markets. So they did a whole study, and I'm just going to get my notes up here so I don't screw this up, okay? They went back and they looked at all the 40 major conflicts in the world since World War II. And they looked at how wars and geopolitical shocks actually impact markets. So this, because right, I mean, we've got the apocalypse people on the internet, and we've got that we're going to turn Iran and Gaza into a hotel complex. We got those folks, and so let's put this down into math because that's where I like to live. Unless the Orioles are playing, and then it's all hope and dreams.
Fair enough.
So let's war and geopolitical shocks, how do they actually impact markets? Here, markets react fast and then begin to normalize. If you go back and you look at stock markets in the United States during World War II or even during Vietnam, when big events happened, there were shocks to the market, but they renormalized back to level of economic activity and earnings to a great degree. What war does do is dramatically increase volatility because it will respond to headlines, and you will get some periods of risk-off behavior where equities are down and commodities are up. Longer term, if you look at over the 5 years of World War II, stocks did actually outperform. So equities do still work even during periods of war, but It's always a but, right?
Always.
The big key, and we've got a lot, and I don't want to leave too much out, so I'm gonna paraphrase. The big key here is energy, and this has happened in every single war. There is or geopolitical conflict. There's a timeline, right? And I'm going to give you the stepping stones of the timeline. War, energy shock. You get the energy shock. If that lasts and maintains, you get inflation. Inflation leads to higher rates. Higher rates leads to credit stress. Credit stress leads to equity repricing. Now, for those of you who didn't go to an Ivy League school, right? Equity repricing is just a very fancy way of saying market crash. So, the more of the stepping stones that you get on this path, okay, the closer you get to a really ugly market event, right? So, the longer the war lasts, the worse the energy outlook becomes, the worse inflation becomes, which spikes higher rates, which leads to periods of credit stress, which will lead to a severe market correction. The key to making money during a war is to keep an eye on energy. Remember that most of the fear is usually front loaded unless you start losing. um, uh, and the thing that you have to watch is inflation, policy, and energy, and look for opportunities in steep, semi cataclysmic sell offs. So that's how you survive a war, not by deciding that your opinion is more than anybody else, that you know more than the people in the White House, in Tehran, and the analysts on the ground, that your reading of the internet and plopping that through AI means that you're an expert on how the war is going to impact markets. Don't do that, because there's plenty of other people doing that. Be different, right? There's a process to this. The longer it goes on, the more energy is impacted, the bigger the chance of a significant equity event. So there's that.
Okay.
Now, next up, every economist is out, and we've got all the blah blahs as the quarter came to an end. I don't listen to most of the blah blahs, but there's a couple people that we do want to pay attention to when we're looking at economics outlooks, and those are the guys at the private equity firms. And I know that private equity people are awful. And once upon a time, a long time ago, they fired your mother's third cousin's brother. And when they restructured the company, and they're job killers, and they're the worst thing that ever happened to America and to the world. I understand that. I saw the same movies you guys did. But the truth of the matter is, the big private equity firms see more of what's going on than any other economist, right? A government economist is sitting in Washington, D.C., and he's taking in all these reports from various sources. And of course, nobody ever lies on these reports. They're just 1,000%. They are the highest quality example of government work, which we all know is the highest praise you can give any piece of work, is to call it government work. So they're seeing all of this data and information, and they're crunching it in fancy formulas, right, that they learned back at Hackensack Community College of Economics. And they're going to come out with an opinion and guide policy. Then you've got the Wall Street economists, and they're kind of seeing everything through a market lens, and that's all. That's the only way they really see things. Private equity firms own businesses all over the world, especially the bigger ones. Okay, they own software companies, they own industrial companies, they own every type of company, right? Because they're price sensitive and not industry sensitive necessarily. So they own great businesses all over the world. So they're seeing boots on the ground, feet in and out of the store at that level. They own a lot of real estate. They own apartments. They own offices. They own shopping plazas. They own warehouses. So again, that's another whole cycle of input into the global economy. Then they borrow a lot of money, a lot of money. Now, you want to sharpen your thinking, borrow a lot of money and use it to buy a business, right? Because now all of a sudden the cost of every straw in that joint matters a whole lot, right? So you're pinching pennies and you're cutting costs and you're looking for opportunities to maximize revenues and profits. And then they also, in the last 25 years or so, they've started to lend a lot of money. All right, so they're lending money to other people to buy businesses, to expand business, which is a whole nother perspective. Now, the point is, the private equity things are seeing more than any other economist. So when I look at Henry McVeigh and his team at KKR, um, I well, I'm glad that your degree is from Hackensack. I forget the football team's name, but I root for them every Saturday. So anyway, KKR came out with their just last week U.S. markets flash macro update, and they're like, "Look, we're into kind of an interesting environment here because we've got multiple forces colliding at once. If it was just the war, the Iranian conflict, that's multiple force number one. That's okay. Go back to see man groups analysis that applies." We were already having a bit of inflation before this started. Growth was already slowing, so there's kind of an extra gas on the macro fire there. And then they talked rather aggressively about private credit repricing. And, they're looking at the software, they're looking at delinquency rates that they're seeing, and they're saying, this isn't necessarily a cataclysmic event, and it has more to do with liquidity than it does with the credit picture, but we are seeing some repricing of that debt. And to one of your earlier comments, Ryan, they talk about AI-driven uncertainty in labor and margins. And they came to the conclusion, and look, McVeigh has been bullish all the way through, and that's important to remember. They've been bullish all the way through, that they really think that given the risk levels in this economy from the conflict, from private credit, and from AI, that the market is completely underpricing risk at this point in time. And they do think that the longer this goes on, this is a common theme, the longer all of this goes on, the worse it is for the market. So they came to
it sounds to me like what they're doing is they're kind of gently preparing you for maybe a big, very quick fill your diaper drop in the market.
Look, if we're still sitting here in July, August, September, okay, and we're still talking about the war in Iran because it's going on still, right? If there's still active conflict, and this thing isn't to a resolution, a real permanent resolution, this is going to get ugly, right? Because oil's not going to come down under that scenario.
Sure.
There's nothing that oil's not an input into. So it's both inflationary and it acts like a bit of a tax on the economy. So if we're still talking about war in the summertime, yeah, we could have a really negative market event. And, if you're not prepared for that, if you're not thinking about that, then you are, in fact, badly underpricing risk in here.
Got it.
Okay. Now, the market has given you a present, and I'm just going to say this. We've seen credit spreads contract back down under 3% last week. We've seen stocks rally back up to almost at all-time highs. We're seeing implied volatilities come back down. Here's your shot, guys. You got another chance to get a black swan type hedge on at a really good price.
And
right?
So I'm glad that you're saying that right now. One of the things that I was saying before you got on here, Tim, is that just kind of looking at the chart, using the chart as the guide, I see a scenario in which we could push up to 705. You and I briefly talked about this yesterday, but I can just as easily paint you a scenario where we roll over and this up move traps a bunch of bulls that then get puked out on the backside of the move down.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, let me just put it to you directly here. When you talk about you're lucky, you're getting another opportunity to put a black swan type hedge on, how would you do that?
Okay, black swan type hedge. Let's actually, we're going to go through here and we'll do a couple. All right. And I'm going to I look at several of them, but understand I'm going way out of the money and way out on the calendar. Okay. What I'm looking for, that's one way to do it. Or you can go like 7% down and roll the puts every month. I'm lazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out. Let's go out 6 months. Okay. So that would be October, correct? Yes. Lightning quick math. You guys see how I did that?
So we'll be a month or two into the football season by then.
Okay, and I don't have any listed on the SPY. I've got late September, so we'll make do with that. All right. So we're at 694 on the S&P 500. Let's go out here, and the lowest strike that I have listed, I want to get right in here around $2. So I'm gonna go with the 440 puts. Okay, that's way below the market.
Sure
right?
is.
And
these are puts on SPY, right?
Yeah, on SPY. Yeah, I'm just using the SPY. That's 37% out of the market. All right. Now, you say, oh my goodness, it's never going to get there. You're probably right. However, I don't need it to get there. All I need is the markets to start panicking and puking and to see interest rates rising. Because remember the pricing of an option, right? It's interest rates, it's volatility, and it's price. Right. So if the price is falling, volatility is rising, and interest rates are high, the volatility is going to explode the price of these options. Right. If you ever want proof of the pudding, go back and look what the price of out of the money call options did during the crash of 1987 or during the COVID crash. They went up because of the volatility explosion. Now,
those October 440 puts, 193 by 196.
right.
Very inexpensive, that far down, that far out in September.
Right. And then I'm going to look at that because I want to make sure that, am I getting the best bang for my buck here? Right. So, and sometimes, often the SPY is not because it's the most priced market. So if we go out and we look at the 918.26, and remember, I want to get under a buck. And okay, it's not there. I'm using the wrong one. Let's look at the Russell 2000 and see what that gives us. Okay, that's at 268. And no, that's just expiring today, Tim. Be smart about this. By the way, happy tax day, everybody. I'm sorry it wasn't my fault. Now you can get out into here at the 170, 175 level in the Russell 2000. And you can start buying options, put options at around a buck. Now, remember, you're not trying to hedge every single thing that happens. You're trying to hedge a crash. That's all. Right? Because if you can't handle a 10, 15%, 20% drawdown in the market, please put your money in a tin can, bury it under the doghouse in the backyard, fill the doghouse with a Rottweiler, and you'll feel much better about everything. However, if you are going to be in the markets, drawdowns are a part of life. We don't care about those. We do care if the market crashes. Now, the Black Swan hedge does a couple of things. A, you're less likely to jump out on every piece of scary news because if this thing crashes, you're going to have money. You're going to be protected. Now, the other thing that it does, if we get a full-blown crash, these things make you a god-awful amount of money. You can be talking 5, 10, even 20 times your money in a full-blown crash when you have a Black Swan hedge on.
And now you have more dry powder to deploy in long-term positions that you still believe in. Absolutely.
Right. But if you're gonna hedge, all right, don't do it with a whole ton of money. Okay. I know guys that go out and they margin up and they use a inverse ETF to do it. You're going to tie up a lot of capital. You're going to turn it into a neutral thing. Here, we can stay fully invested in small cap momentum or small cap deep value, no matter, and ignore kind of the fluctuations, because worst case scenario is taken care of. And as not to get too far back in history, but as Seneca the Younger said, if you review everything that can happen to you and you look at the worst case and say, hey, I can survive that, then you can handle anything. Okay, so that's the big benefit of hedging is that it enables you to stay in through the less critical cycles of the market. So you're getting another chance at that. I do highly recommend it when you've got markets at excessive valuations, flirting with all-time highs, compressed credit spreads, in the middle of 2 wars, with oil prices over 100 and bonds falling like the Chicago Bears' chances of going back to the Super Bowl.
Those are higher. Those are higher now.
Ryan, I got to take my shots where I get them.
I know.
My teams are not playing well at the moment. So that's you've got a chance to get these on and just protect yourself against the war that turns into something nasty in the Middle East that will crash the markets. Go back and look at the last time we had a really bad situation with Iran. It's the 1970s. Hint for you younger folks, it wasn't fun. So that's where we are. We've got some other stuff, Ryan. I sent you the links to some stuff. There's a report in there where Apollo talks about what's going on in gold, which is pure gold. Um, and I'll just give you because I know I'm running out of time. Apollo looks at the gold markets, and it's a cool chart book. And Ryan can send you the link if you want it. But
I'm going to put both of these links in here.
The recent weakness in gold has to do with the fact that real interest rates are remaining higher than anybody thought they would. It's a competition, right? Gold pays no dividend, and people are not as scared as they were. So they're looking for things that can send them cash.
Okay. Real quick here, I just found this rather amusing. Izzy said, Tim, when are layoffs a bad sin for a company? You never answered, so he got tired of it and said, Tim's Orioles bust, LOL.
Well, now, look, Izzy, the layoff question is one that's got so many layers to that onion that we can talk about it forever. Now, when you look and you're when business is great and dollars are coming in through the door and everything's wonderful, and you're laying people off to just increase your margins, right? I don't consider that a very socially productive layoff, but if I can replace you with AI or a robot and it's going to increase profit margins, that's a good thing. Right? If I'm doing it to protect my business, that's a good thing. Now, if I'm the guy getting laid off, it sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. But you got to look at that as a company by company by company question. They used to have the guy they called Chainsaw Al Dunlap that would go in and try to save companies. He would just indiscriminately lay people off. That's bad, right? When they, and I'll give you a great example of that because we just saw it with as well-intentioned as Doge was. They laid off the people who knew how to handle nuclear waste. Right, because they were in the department. They didn't even bother to check the job description. They just laid off a bunch of people in key departments, and then they had to kind of slink back and rehire them. So, there's got to be some thought. There's got to be a reason, but that's a really complicated question that we could spend hours on, literally.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. Hopefully your Orioles bounce back. Tim, we really appreciate all of your insight.
We lost. By the way, we lost one game last night, guys. We're actually right in there. We're in second place in the American League East. Izzy, I don't know who your team is, but
this team is the Yankees.
When did you convert to communism, Izzy?
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. I am a Baltimore fan. Listen,
look, Tim, I gotta get you out of here before a real fight breaks out.
No fighting. If Orioles and Yankees fans cannot insult each other calmly and rationally, then that's a world we can't all live in. So Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for everything.
Tim, thanks for everything. Thanks for the smiles. As always, we'll check in with you next time. Really appreciate it. That is Tim Melvin, folks. If you come for Tim, you best not miss. He'll hit you back. Okay. Before we bring on, by the way, Izzy converted to communism 30 years ago, to answer Tim's question. LOL. I can see Tim laughing in the background. So there we go. Okay. Real quick, before we bring 13 on, got one tweet to share with you. Let's do street tweets. This one's about Tesla. Retail investors are rotating back into Tesla with the stock back at the top of the leaderboard. Tesla has seen 216 million of net buying over the past 5 days, making it the most actively bought retail name again. This comes as retail is persistently buying the dip. That source is Vanda. So we talk about Tesla all the time here. We also talk about the dip buying mentality that the retail investor absolutely seems to be in. And we're seeing it in spades here with Tesla. Now, one of the reasons why I'm kind of bringing this up here, I want to observe how this changes for the good or for the worse when the SpaceX IPO comes out. I know that there are some people on both sides of the fence that think SpaceX might actually lower Tesla's price because it draws investors out of Tesla and into the new SpaceX IPO. There are others that think anything Elon Musk is going to go higher here, and that might be a part of it. So I want to see what happens here. But retail, they're not giving up on Tesla. They're buying the dip. Biggest net buying over the past 5 days is, in fact, Tesla. All right. let's get back to Pro here, and let's go ahead and start pre-market pulse. There's 13. 13, how you doing here today, man?
I'm doing all right. Wish I could have alerted everybody to Bird, but it looks like Kathy's on top of it.
It's not just Kathy. Billy's been on it. There's been a number of folks on it, but let's not waste any more time with pleasantries. Let's just go ahead and talk about Bird. Here it is, and I would not be surprised if we have several folks' days already made here.
Probably.
Looks like we've got 3 pretty significant impulse moves for Bird here. The stock closed 249 yesterday, is literally printing 7 in the pre-market here today. Kathy here mentioning that it is above 7, or was at one point. Allbirds, which is the name of the company, ticker BIRD. Allbirds executes a $50 million convertible finance facility with an institutional investor and pivots business to AI compute infrastructure, and changes the name to New Bird AI. That is the ultimate AI PR there. The ultimate AI PR there. It is driving the stock higher. Yassine, I will take this. I will take this testimonial all day. Charlie told me earlier, for those of you unaware, Charlie is our squawk person within Benzinga Pro. News like this that's going to drive small caps, in this case 173%, sometimes more. News like this, some of the fastest way to get it is via Charlie. Yassine, I cannot tell you how happy I am that you said this and that Charlie has helped you out once again. Charlie be helping everybody out every single day. So nice little plug there. But nonetheless, that's what's going on with Bird here. 13, let me just review the short interest, and I'm going to turn this over to you. I'd love to hear if you have any levels for this. 21.37% of the float shorted with 4.17 days to cover. Notably, this days to cover has ticked down from double digits. So, and actually the short interest has increased slightly. So the only change here is an increase in the average volume. And it's still, even with that increase, we still have an elevated days to cover. So maybe there's some squeeze action in here. Float is 4.87 million shares on average. This stock trades 115,000 shares today. It has done 44 million here today. 13, what do you think here on BIRD, New Bird AI?
Well, I think that we saw the move. And I don't know if this is going to hold up here, but you got the 500-day SMA that's above the price right now. That's really the only other moving average I have up here. Maybe if I go to a weekly, or that's going to be even further up. So I don't think that's going to matter. But there's also a bit of a trend line if you use the August 2024 high through the high through July of last year. We're coming up to that trend line now. So that might provide a level, but I think the big move that everybody was waiting for already happened. That was the breakthrough 5, because that was an area that was providing resistance in the morning, and we actually didn't quite get up to 5. We got as high as, I think it was like 478. 478 before we came back down to test the VWAP and the 9 EMA, and then we found support, broke right through that, and the rest is history. So that's really what I've got with this one. You pointed out everything else. I would think that if we do come back in some more, we're going to want to look at either VWAP or maybe the 525 to 550 area for support. But looks like we're still trying to get through that trend line that I mentioned. That value for the 500-day SMA, 791.
Okay. All right, good breakdown there on Bird. Kathy here saying Bird made up for my ASML earnings play. Kathy, that's great to hear. I think one of the important things here, we're never going to win everything, and sticking with it, even when you have a loser, that's the way to do it. Glad you were able to very quickly turn that around and make up for that. That's absolutely fabulous. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff there. Okay. Next here on this list, I've got NICM. Yikes. We hate seeing stuff like this. Nikola Mining is the name of this company. This morning in the pre-market, this stock was about $7.50. This thing traded up to 60 and has come all the way back in to about $9. So let's see. I guess maybe there's something here. This is a new issue.
It IPO'd like this week. So
post IPO volatility on this bad boy.
So I didn't even really bother looking at this one because I saw that it was new. There's not a whole lot of levels to draw upon. It's just being very volatile. We're well off the highs it already had, but it looks like it is trying to form some sort of a base down here just above 9. So if it does manage to turn around, it looks like 12 could be a resistance area. If it can't, if it does get through, it looks like to be 1075. Hold on a second.
Really quickly here, Nikola Mining is engaged in the identification, acquisition, and expiration of mineral property interests. Its projects include Merrill Mill and the Trailing Facility, a new Craigmont property, Treasure Mountain property, and sand and gravel property. So this might have just been a kind of convenient time to IPO this. What did you have, 13? Sorry.
Oh, just talking about where we could find resistance if we climb back up, because it looks like we're trying to form some kind of a bottom here, but it looks like 1050 could be a resistance area, and then 12.
Okay. 1050 and 12. We'll see. NICM moves like this, post IPO volatility. Not my favorite. We'll probably find something better to trade here today. Okay, next is going to be CIIT. This is Tianxi International. The stock closed at just about $1.38 yesterday. Looks like we tapped 240 here earlier today. In the after hours yesterday, and then slightly lower than that earlier here this morning. Tianxi International, Tianxi, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation there, signs a non-binding strategic cooperation memorandum of understanding with Graypole Mining and advanced gold and chromium resource development, in Zimbabwe. So this also probably playing into the critical minerals theme that we're currently seeing going on. Stock is up by 31% here today. We'll see if we get any more action on this. What I've got chart-wise is a pretty clear trend line here. This is going to give us a target. We'll see if we are able to reach that target. 175 sure looks like the support. This obviously forms a triangle if you extend those lines and out into the future. Quick peek at the short interest on this. 1.82% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. There's literally less than 30,000 total shares held short in this name. Don't think we have any squeeze potential for a trade here today. The float on it is 1.57 million. On average, it trades about 500,000 shares, done 13 million plus here today. 13, what do you think here on CIIT? And let's make sure we get this ticker right today, huh?
Yeah, I mean, then not call it City.
I'm not going to say what we would accidentally mess it up, but just double check this ticker for me, please.
Yeah, we'll double check this SIT. This company needs cash. It's not profitable. So just keep that in mind if you're choosing to trade this. To me, it looks like 190 is going to be your resistance area for now. If we manage to turn around and try to climb back up, your support looks like that's going to be pretty close. We're either going to use the 200 EMA that we've already used as support once. If that fails, there's this 172, this area where we had the lows from the after hours yesterday. That could be a support area. That's where it was getting support from some of the price action in previous days. If we go lower than that, there's a lot of sideways consolidation that could create. That's going to be a demand zone. So you might find some better support down there in the 160s. But for me, this looks like it's trying to get support from that 200. And if it doesn't, it's just going to go lower.
Okay. Good stuff there. The next 3 tickers on the movers list are all levered ETFs.
Yeah.
All right. So we're not going to cover them. This is OKLL, which is 2x long for Oklo. The one thing I will say here about Oklo, we kind of talked about this yesterday briefly. Probably don't have it on this chart. Yeah, don't have it on this chart. But what we had here with Oklo was this type of, you know what? I think I drew that wrong, I believe. Oh my God, I totally screwed. Where did I put that drawing from before? Here we go. And then we also have a trend line on the bottom end here. This is making a falling wedge, and it looks like we're trying to break out of that. We've seen this pattern before. We've seen stocks get absolutely full send from a setup like this. So I say all that to say, Oklo is the underlying here. We're basically breaking through that, looking like we're getting some more extension here today. But OKLL is the 2x levered ETF that is up twice as much on that. IONX, this is on the news that we got yesterday about Quantum Day. Yesterday was, in fact, Quantum Day. We got some more news about that. I love that the 414 is the first three numbers in Planck's constant. It's actually 4.135, but it rounded up to 4.14, so I digress. Nonetheless, some of these stocks are moving. Ionix is the one that was at the top of that list, and it looks like we have two of those levered ETFs moving. This one is IONX, 2x levered long, and then the Granite Shares 2x levered long, IONQ, doing the exact same thing. Did you have anything you wanted to add to this theme, 13?
Well, there's also Inflection that I was bringing up yesterday. That's up as well. And this actually has
what's the ticker on that one again? What was it?
INFQ.
I got it.
This is formerly a SPAC. I know that sounds that sounds a little bit concerning, but unlike a lot of SPACs, this one actually has revenue. It has contracts. It's a real company, and it's already kind of de-SPACed and turned around. This one is actually going to be one of the stronger quantum plays that are out there. And tomorrow they have an event. Let me just look. I can't remember the entire line because it's so big, but it's called Next Level. Second here. Sorry. It's just like a long. It's a long name for it, but it covers merging quantum with capital, supply chains. Anyway, that's going to be tomorrow. And I think that could provide, a lift to the sector, or it might be a sell to the news event. But I think it's something that we should keep on our radar. Gosh, why can't I find that information? Anyway, the event's tomorrow, and it comes off. Here we go. It's called the Next Level, the intersection of quantum, capital, supply chains, and open source. That is going to be tomorrow in Colorado, and it's going to bring together a bunch of leaders across the quantum ecosystem.
Okay, so we might have some more quantum moves based on what comes out of this. That's good intel. We'll see what happens there tomorrow. All right, good stuff, 13. Good stuff. All right, two more really quick here. Webull is finally moving in the right direction. And I bet there are a bunch of Webull bulls out there that are extremely happy that this thing is finally showing signs of life. This thing printed below 5 just 2 days ago on Monday, and here we are at 650. Up 11.3% here, and this was after a 10% day yesterday. I do have a new PR here. Webull unlocks active trading for all, eliminating the pattern day trading 25K minimum balance and trade court restrictions. So remember, the SEC did approve the removing the pattern day trading limit. Looks like Webull, one of the first to act here. So if you have a Webull account and less than 25K, eat your heart out, folks. You can start day trading. Just be very, very careful. More trading doesn't always mean better trading. Don't forget that. But that's what's going on here. Webull up 11%.
You also have other fintech up on that as well, like Hood is up.
Yep.
I'm looking at what's Interactive Brokers ticker.
IBKR.
Okay, that's what I had wrong. IBKR. That one's probably up as well.
Yep.
Not as much, but still up nonetheless. So yeah, it's going to lift all those platforms, but some of the more hammered down ones, like Bull, going to get a bigger lift.
And we suspect that the clientele here for Webull has a higher percentage of folks that were under that 25K balance. Now they're going to be able to be more active. Let's see if that has any noticeable impact on volume. My gut feeling is that it won't, at least early on, but we'll see. But that's what's going on with Webull. Last one here I wanted to mention was Snap. Then we'll go ahead and take stocks from the chat here. Yes, Jay Harris, we can start with Broadcom like we do every day. We'll do it again here today. Snap is trading higher here in the pre-market. This is actually above 620. Snap said it's going to cut about 1,000 jobs, which is about 16% of its workforce. And they're able to do that because of the improved productivity from AI. So you're getting a headcount reduction here on Snap. That's driving it higher. Let me see if there was anything else that I missed. Yeah, it's AI productivity picks up. Quote, while these changes are necessary to realize Snap's long-term potential, we believe the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence enable our teams to reduce repetitive work, increase velocity, and better support our community, partners, and advertisers. That came from CEO Evan Spiegel. We'll see if that's true. That is driving Snap higher here by about 8% today.
Yeah, it looks to me like 7 is going to be the big resistance area.
Okay.
Yep, that's basically it. I mean, if you just draw a
Oh,
line
yeah.
at
Look
7
at this.
and
Yep,
look to the left.
absolutely. Look at that. That's as clear as it gets there, team.
Yeah, so that's going to be the big resistance. By the time we get up there, we might see the 200-day SMA come down to meet it, but it's encouraging. We have multiple closes over like 2 closes over the 50-day SMA, and looks like today could be a third. But we could get a little bit of pullback from that. We are getting pretty extended here. RSI on the daily chart is at 70. So there could be a little bit more upside here, and then maybe there's some cooling, but $7 is the very, very standout resistance area.
Jay here saying, Hood, really good piece yesterday from Bernstein. I don't think I read that one. I actually read the David Prince thing that you sent on here, and he was talking about how this is on breakout watch, Jay. And look where we are here today with this 8% move in the pre-market. It's just this. You tell me, Jay, is this breaking out? Sure looks like it.
85 looked like that was a bit of this. That could have been the spot, maybe in that area. But if we do get this move up, it seems like 100 could be in sight. Maybe there's some resistance in the 90s, but 100 looks like that's going to be the target.
I'm with you on that. That round 100 number, that was support for a while back in the fall of last year. I'm going to take a shot at Tim since he's not here. While the Bears were winning football games. Anyway, it used 100 before. It broke it, and it never really had a good attempt to recapture it. We'll see if we end up getting that here on this move back higher. Hood, think it got too cheap, Ryan. Well, there you go. Do you think we break out and test 100 here?
It did get cheap. It took a 58% discount off the October highs. And it came down to some of our support areas, like 67 I've had marked up here. That's the high from February 2025. And it also hit the 500-day SMA. So it hit a lot of our really strong support areas. And now it's looking like it's turning around here. Good recapture of the 20 and the 50-day SMAs. We do need to see some more closes over the 50. But if we get that, it looks like we're headed towards 100.
Okay. All right, good stuff there on Hood. 13, do you have anything else off this list or anything in particular that we have not yet covered that you would like to mention?
No. I know that we want to get to Broadcom, so let's get to Broadcom.
All right, let's do that here real quick. Let me go back to my chart tool. I'm actually going to have you start with this. Let me pull it up. Also, real quick here, as far as Broadcom goes, obviously the partnership with Meta is what's been driving this thing recently. So it's up here again in the pre-market. It's up 2%. I think it was up a little bit more earlier today. Yeah, it was up a little bit more here today, after hours yesterday. Broadcom shares are trading higher after the company announced it extended its partnership with Meta to support a multi-gigawatt of Meta's custom silicon chips. So that's what's going on here with Broadcom. Here's the daily chart. See, we're actually pushing up to a potential gap fill here. 13. Go ahead, break this chart down. I'm going to step away. I'll be right back, though, before you finish it.
Yeah, so they've been getting a series of great news. This one with Meta's, just the latest. If you recall, they also had some news with Google and the long-term partnership with them for their TPU chips. Also, keep an eye on Bird. It looks like it's trying to break out. Anyway, Broadcom, we're in an area that's filling a gap. We tried to enter that for the past couple of days, trading days, and now it looks like we're finally in it. The gap I'm referring to is back from December. That goes from Thursday the 11th to Friday the 12th. We had a gap down there, and it looks like we're going to fill that. And if we look at where that fills at the wick level, that's going to be 394.19. If we look at the real body, it's going to be 404.83. So to me, this looks like if we end up filling this gap, we're probably going to end up hitting 400. But when we do, we're going to also be very extended. We're extended right now on the daily chart. We're over 75 RSI. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if we filled this gap and then started to sell a little bit and cool off, bring down this RSI. So that's what I would expect from Broadcom in the very near term. Maybe all of that happens today, where we get this move up to 400 and then start to see some selling. But this is, been getting a whole string of good news. There's a lot to like about Broadcom. The chip, AI seems to be on the return here. So I think Broadcom's going to continue to do well. We'll see well over 400 in the future. But I think this initial move back up to 400 here, it's going to be met with some resistance.
Perfect timing. I literally came back right as you finished that. Dan saying Ryan, and spelled my name wrong somehow, is gone. Let's go to Burger King. Why would you wait for me to leave? I guess because I don't eat Burger King, maybe. Anyway, let me know how it is. All right. Funny, I know
he wants to have it his way.
What's that?
He wants to have it his way right away.
Okay, fair enough. Buffalo by Bicycle. Funny how I know the time for Ryan's pee break. Look, I mean, biology, you can't argue with it. You can't argue with it. I got a full slate of content I need to do here first. 13 actually gives me a break. It's so helpful in multiple ways, but okay. What else do you want to take a look at? What else we got here, guys? We got 6 minutes, 5 minutes until we open. 13 looks like you don't have anything on your list.
I haven't responded. I was going to say, it looks like folks are wanting to see ASML, DKNG, and Microsoft. Those are the next one that I saw. It looks like Schwab also got a mention. You pick one, and I'll just go off.
ASML will start here. This, to me, obviously looks like we kind of have a double top formation going on right now. They reported earnings here today. They're only down 2.17%. They're actually up off the lows. So perhaps this is going to be in play here today. We talked about the actual print earlier. This was a beat on the top and the bottom line. EPS of 837 beat 772, and 10.26 billion beat the 10.21 billion. They raised their full year revenue guide. That guide's in euros, 36 to 40 billion, and they cited robust chip demand. So with the stock being down here, to me, it sure seems like maybe it wasn't as good as people thought. Maybe the bar was set a little bit too high. But looking at the trading action here again, we're only down 2%. We've seen several of these stops be down double digits, and this is actually up off the low. So as far as levels go here, 13, what are you thinking on ASML?
I'm not liking yesterday's candle. If you think that reversal candles really do tell the tale, just look at the last time that we had new all-time highs. We hit 1550. That was back in February. That was a reversal candle, and we really sold off to the tune of, let's see, from that high to the low, we lost 17.5%. So I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen here, but that reversal candle from yesterday, I'd be very concerned about. That might indicate that there is some downside ahead just temporarily. If we do get that downside, I'd be looking at the 50-day SMA as support. That's going to take you down to about 1400. Let's say that doesn't happen, and then we don't go down that low, that we do find some support much earlier, and we turn around and start going higher. If we do break out new all-time highs, I think that you might be able to indicate where that price might go by drawing a trend line from the January 28th high through the high from February 25th. That may give you a bit of a price target that takes you up towards like 1650. So that gives you an upside target to shoot for. But to me, it looks like if we are going to be weak today, I'd be looking at some of those support levels. So like 1450, maybe as low as 1400. Okay,
yeah. And I agree. This looks like it's coming in. It looks like a lot of the chat feels the same way. Lion says this looks like a top to me. I would have a hard time arguing that. This indeed looks toppy here. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. I mean, this not going away. Chip demand not going away. So perhaps this pullback, maybe we pull down to 1400 and it gives you another opportunity there. ASML. What were some of the other tickers that you had there? We've got 3 minutes.
Let's look at Microsoft. There was also Schwab and
you know what I'd like to do ahead of Schwab, no offense to anybody, I'd like to do CoinFox's Roku here. That's one we don't take a look at very often, and he's given some context here. But we'll start with Microsoft. Microsoft now with today's move here in the pre-market up 1.5%. We're actually above the 50. Yesterday's close looks like we closed basically right at or near the 50. Technically I have it closing above, but it's pretty much a test of that. We'll see if we can get multiple closes here today. Definitely think 414 to 415 might be another resistance area here. Obviously, the round 400 number should be in play here today on Microsoft. This stock was down 36% from its all-time highs, so this one kind of already corrected, if you will. What do you think here, 13? What kind of levels you got?
Well, recapture that 50-day SMA is encouraging. We need to still
Indeed.
see some more closes over it. This is we only have one today. Could be two. I want to see at least three. So going to need to see a little bit more price action above this. But if let's say we do hold above the 50, the resistance that I'm looking at is going to be it's going to be over 400, but it's going to be under 410. So
okay,
in there, probably about 406 to 408, you might find some resistance. It might even be a little bit higher. But I think as soon as we get over 4, we're going to run into some different resistance levels that might take a little bit of time to get through. So I would expect a lot of back and forth, using the 50-day SMA as support and those resistance areas I mentioned before we finally get a break through them. So and
okay.
we need to break through 420. So I think that there could be some back and forth before we make that move up, unless there's like a piece of news that just lifts all of these software names, and
Sure.
including Microsoft, that takes it higher. But if there isn't, I would expect a little bit of back and forth before we try to make that move up through 420.
Okay, great breakdown. Next here, we're going to do Roku. We're going to do it fast. Here's what Roku looks like. Now, CoinFox said Roku worth watching a 12-month retrace. So I think what you're saying here is in the last 12 months, it's kind of come back, guessing, but really kind of retraced from the February lows there. This to me looks like maybe it can break out here. He goes on to say if they front run it, it could be moving towards the 120s. That's the exact spot I see here on the chart, CoinFox. So I would say if this continues, 120 is a reasonable target there. Okay, we're open. Flip over to the main workspace, spy higher out of the gate, at least temporarily.
Yeah. When it comes to Roku, I think 160 is going to be it looks like 120 we need to get past first, and then if we do, it looks to me like every $20 you're going to have a resistance area. So 140, 160, but 120 is going to have to be the first big test, I think.
Okay,
I'm looking at a monthly chart.
Okay,
right.
SMR, this is up. This is actually above the pre-market range right away here. SMR, that is going through 11.
It looks like everything that we were talking about this morning down initially. Inflection, Bird. Well, Bird is kind of back and forth. Looks like CIIT, that dropped down to 158, getting some support there.
You guys remember that Long Island iced tea blockchain company that kind of changed what they did and they just became blockchain? And I can't remember the ticker. That's why I'm struggling. But I remember that we kind of joked about it when we talked about it here. This Allbirds thing here, this flip pivot, if you will, to AI feels the same. Feels a little shady. Someone in here said Bird's going to make a bunch of bag holders. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, honestly.
Yeah, it could happen very soon. I mean, MACD's starting to roll over. It's having a hard time staying above 7. It could happen pretty soon.
So,
let's see here. So what is getting some support here? So Microsoft, it blasted off out of the open, up almost hit 400, and then it came right back down.
Speaking of Microsoft blasting off, Chris is all over this. Apple 2, power candle right out of the gate. Now, this is right to the afternoon highs from Apple. We'll see if this has any more strength to get above 262, but nice call there, Chris. Apple, big move out of the gate.
All right.
Let's see what we got for call buying here. Sorry, 13. I'm just talking to myself.
That's okay. Looks like Bird trying one more time, going through 7. Let's see if it gets to the highs that it was at. There it goes. Okay, so 791 now the new high, and it pulled really fast. So that comment about Bird making bag holders, it's not unwarranted. Look at how fast this movement is. So you have your levels clearly defined of where you're going to be in and out and where your stops are before you even start this thing. Because now look at how fast the move down was. So I think that's absolutely correct. This will create a lot of back holders, so be careful with this one.
Okay, OKLO. Wow, look at this. This looks like this back tested the trend line and is trying to go higher here. Remember, we already took a look at SMR, which tried to go higher out of the open. Part of me wonders if the nuke names get rolling here today. People are catching the bird flu, LOL. Judge, that's not bad, actually.
The nuke names are obviously going on the White House strategic, space nuclear. But there's also a couple of other names that are, not doing too bad that are more in that space, like NNE. That's up 4%.
We had a gentleman in happy hour saying he was just buying this yesterday. That's up more here.
Yep. Yeah, so this is, I mean, this could be more of the pure play nuclear energy in space. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on or trade if you're into it.
Christoph mentioning Ionic. This is actually trying to break its pre-market high. Maybe you get another pop there. IONQ.
You know, it's kind of funny, isn't it, folks? All these names that we were trading earlier in the year and last year are all starting to come back. All the nuclear names, the space names are starting to do well. MNTS going higher. We have the quantum coming back. Drones, they're not down and out. I think that they're just taking a little break. And then what's some of the other ones that we were talking about as well? There were usually 4. I know we've added lasers and optics since then, but the first 4 we were talking about were space, nukes, quantum, and
energy,
and drones. I think that's energies.
Although energy has some of those other subsets in them too. So,
all right, looks like I'm just kind of looking through these things. Man, I'm really hoping that I'm super correct about Chewy, because this thing has been taking off this morning, and I think that it's going to have a good time. It's just been really beaten down. It looks like it's got a great pattern forming on the monthly. I hope we get this inverse head and shoulders resolution. It's looking really good.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And what do you have the neckline at, about 28-ish?
Well, that's the smaller inverse head and shoulders. I'm talking about, like, go to a monthly. There.
Yeah, this is the one that we drew.
Yeah, there it is. That's the inverse head and shoulders I'm wanting to see resolved, because that neckline will take us to 50. The neckline's at 50.
Okay,
and
great.
If we break out and we resolve higher, we're going to like 85. So, okay. All right, bird is still the word, because we are still holding above the VWAP, and it looks like we want to try and push higher than 750. There's a seller in the way there. We have some buyers down at 730. Careful with those, they might get taken out. Lots of volatility, lots of shares getting thrown around all over the place, and this is still quite a low float stock, 4.8 million. Yeah, space. Yep. Underwater drones too. Yep. Drones of all types, above ground and beneath it. And here we go. Bird trying to push and take out that 794. There it is.
Owl, Blue Owl Capital. This is now breaking its pre-market high. Remember, this is one of the private equity names that's been really beaten down. That's starting to get going. Do you have anything else I hear on Birds? I'm sorry, 13.
No, Bird is just, it's just making new highs still. So it's so far it hasn't created any bag holders. It looks like we're about to go into a halt.
Apple's still trading higher. Ondas has some buyers. Let's see if that holds here.
Excellent. Indeed. Well done, Danielle. She's now out of Bird. It is now halted. Could see some more upside out of the halt, but just, this is the time where it's going to be like, okay, what are you going to do next? Because we've seen halts where they will, the first 2 will tend to be pretty good, but then once you get to the third halt, then it starts to sell when it comes out of that. So be careful at this stage with Bird. We don't want bag holders made out of y'all.
No, Carlos here, in and out of Bird 6 times from 2 to 7-ish. Your day might be done here. Jay saying Bird is going to 33 in memory of Larry. He's obviously joking there, folks. Mark, great, good job. Good job on all of you folks that are ending up trading this here and getting out right before that halt. That's fabulous. Excuse me, sorry about that. GMI or J Michael, excuse me. I'm still showing Webull is needing 25K for PDT. I thought it was supposed to change on their platform. We got a PR about that here this morning. I don't have Webull to confirm it though. So
it's set to take effect 45 days after the official notice was published.
And that official notice was today?
I think the notice was dated yesterday. But either way, it's going to be 45 days.
Okay. So there you have your answers. Just needed to read the PR a little bit more.
Bird is the word. Yeah, it is. Just, keep an eye on when that halt timer is supposed to, when it's supposed to unhalt, because then we're going to get some more fireworks. All right. Oh, man. Go, Chewy, go. CIT, this is trying to come back up to this is one of the Hong Kong name that we were looking at. Maybe this gets a wild hair at some point in the morning here, but right now it's just not getting a lot of attention.
Seeing some more CoreWeave calls, app calls, app 500. App straight up out of the gate here, another power move. IGV actually on the scanner. This is straight up out of the gate. IGV. This is actually above yesterday's intraday high as well. IGV.
Take care, AKA Walker or AJ Walker. The main
Jay Walker.
You did great.
Yeah.
He was killing
Off to the day job. Good job, everyone. Good stuff for you. Have a good one at your day job.
So look at Microsoft on a 5-minute. We did initially with out of the gate. We broke through. We went up to test 400, rejected, came back down to the VWAP. This next candle broke through it. Now we're using 400 as support.
Indeed. Lion here saying took profit on Broadcom calls. There you go, Lion. Do you think Broadcom's at resistance, or is it just the position has moved and you're just booking some of those gains? What do you think about the next move there for Broadcom?
Sorry to bring this up because we just had him on. I don't know if you talked to him about it, but did you ever hear back from Tim on Resolve AI?
You know what? I did not, and I'm sorry. I did not ask him this morning. I sent him that email. I have not heard back from him. I can ping him again though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I've gotten the information I need from it, but I just am curious about his opinion, because if this thing is going to actually do the revenue that it says it's going to do, and it's guaranteed from contracts, then this thing is probably trading well below the price that it should be. Resolve AI is also doing pretty well this morning too.
That's RZLV.
Yep.
Lion here. Okay, so you're just protecting your gains. Spies at high. You're selling into the rip instead of the dip. That all sounds normal. I guess that's not necessarily a comment on Broadcom's next move. That's just trading. So like it. SMR, that worked here. I would imagine Oklow's doing the same thing. So SMR continues to push higher here. We're right at yesterday's intraday high. Let's take a quick peek at Oklow. Here's Oklow breaking the pre-market high after backtesting the trend line. It looks like we are in breakout mode here on Oklow, folks.
We probably don't have a whole lot of time left on Bird's halt.
I can get you that time. That was halted at 9:36:35. We've got 5 minutes left. If it doesn't unhalt right now, it's 5 or a 10, right?
I thought it would have been a 5 because that was the first halt. Wow, Microsoft really going now.
Well, we'll know here in 10 seconds.
All right.
5 seconds.
Now Eric is long Airbnb. All right, there we go. Bird's open.
There it is. So it was indeed a 5-minute halt. Bird trying to go higher.
Looks like it just barely tapped 850. There, now it's through it. Wow. Wow. Okay, so that 942 print is currently the high. It's going to go higher. Okay, well, while that does that, I'm going to look at something else because I'm not in it, so I don't have any thing to look at there.
PayPal higher, Apple still higher, VIX in a 17 handle.
Yeah, Jay, it really does. Like, okay, it's like, okay, well, maybe not from hardware, but from oil. It looks like we're still, because, what is Broadcom sinking? Wow, Bird just rocketed to 1050.
Bird is the word. You guys have been on it all morning here.
Yeah, Broadcom is up, and I think Intel is still up. So not so much hardware. I think it's just more of taking gains out of energy, which has been gone on an insane run, and back into some of the things that have been hammered down. And wouldn't you know it, the most 3 hammered down sectors year to date are going to be financials, consumer discretionary, and information technology.
Ryan, what is your favorite type of option to trade? God, that's a good question. I think the most exciting are just straight up calls and puts because you can see big gains fast. But I think my favorite, just because I feel like I'm doing a good job and I'm being tactical, is when I sell calls against my stock. So I guess it depends on what you're trying to do. Fairchild, lots of folks feathering their nests on that one. Bird, I like it.
Dell is your hardware gauge.
How's Dell doing here today?
I mean, they've gone
weak, just like he was saying.
But they've gone on a much bigger run than some of these hardware names have recently. Like, let's say, so February, the end of February is when Dell started going, and I think that was off of earnings. Let's see what Broadcom was doing. Yeah, so at the end of February, Broadcom was it kind of recovered, but it found resistance and it went even lower. I'm not trying to disagree about hardware being out of favor, but I don't think it's they're selling out of hardware in order to pick up software. I think it's more of we're selling the better out of the better sectors and going into the weaker ones.
SPY pulling back here actually went right through its VWAP. This is actually kind of a nasty pullback. Let me see if there was any. I didn't see anything. I guess it's possible I missed something. Let me check here real quick. So this one here, this was from about 20 minutes ago. A ceasefire will be established in Lebanon, whose duration will be 1 week and extends until the end of the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran.
Let me see
that. Market really pulling though. SPY just really kind of reversed. Again, it's basically back where it was consolidating in the pre-market. Lion says he's taking profit on Oracle calls. So Lion, it sounds like you're just selling into the up move just in general. Bird continuing to move here, holding higher. Here's Oracle. That was good. Yeah, and I will say, Lion, you were talking about 695 yesterday. That was a really good call. We went to 696 here today before pulling back. Just kind of looking at the chart, we talked about 697.84 being the all-time high, 700 being a possible level, and then maybe 705 after that. So we'll see if we go to any of those. But that 695 call yesterday was good. Zach saying my Israeli stocks are popping. I would imagine that would be the case with the ceasefire headline that we just got Lebanon.
Yeah.
Ondas back on here. Tesla, nice little dip and rip. Remember, we shared the stat that Tesla had a high for retail folks buying it. Tesla's actually above yesterday's intraday high as well here. Still haven't seen anything huge on the option scanner.
Not yet, Daniel. 45 days.
Looking around here for anything new. XLF higher by another quarter here, Lion. Then Jay mentioning IGV diverging from SMH. So that just really kind of steelmans your hardware versus software thesis.
And then we have a whole bunch of hardware names that are up. I mean, like I was saying, I mean, it's more, I think you have that divergence, sure, but I think you're seeing more sector rotation.
And I think you are, although oil's down here 0.09%, but it does look weak, and it's looked weaker here this morning, 13. So that might be coming into play here. Iran Bird, by the way, going to 12, it sure looks like.
Jeez. Yep, 1179. RCLV can use a climb. Look at Marvell.
That's a hardware name, isn't it?
Yep. Well, Marvell's
What's
up.
NVIDIA doing? That's another one.
NVIDIA's
up by just over 0.5%. Yeah.
Yeah, Broadcom up. So that hardware, Jay.
So there you go. There you go, Jay. Broadcom, NVIDIA, Marvell would be three right off the top. Bull, this looks like this dip to the 65 EMA and is trying to bounce. Sorry, 13.
No, Bird is just
I know.
It's
flying.
off. Yeah,
Bird is flying.
Where's that sound?
Baby, she's flying, man.
That was the time for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I'll resolve AI. Just no stopping that one right now. Even Velo having a good morning here, back over 11 after losing it yesterday.
I should have been on Bird with you folks. Perfect fair value gap trade on Bird. That worked and sent it. Good morning, Zoltan. Zoltan wondering, is RGTZ a buy yet? So we have the quantum names moving up, which means RGTZ moving in the opposite direction. Where's the buy spot for this? Zoltan, this is a good question.
Might be very soon. If I look at a daily chart for RGTZ, we're getting pretty close to oversold. We're down at the January lows. I mean, it's looking like it could be very soon. I don't want to say now, but it looks like we're getting there very, very soon. I just can't exactly say when. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But this thing has really had quite a drop. Let me look and see what RGTI is telling me. By the way, this one, I know that it's had some headlines, but I don't know that I can really, get behind this company. I think this is going to be single digits at some point.
Yeah. Zoltan here saying for RGTZ, maybe looking at 10 or 11 for possible entry there, RGTZ.
I mean, I think while the quantum stocks are hot right now, this is just one to wait and make sure you keep an eye on it. But I don't think you want to kind of jump in front of this train. It looks like RGTI could still go up to 2150. That was a support area before we lost it back in January. Haven't been back up there since, but that strong of a support level ends up being a pretty decent resistance level afterwards if we lose that.
Kathy saying got in Bird at 370, scaled out way too early. Kathy, if you scaled out,
you win, bro.
You
win.
Still won. That means you get a register ring. I understand watching it. You're like, I wish I still had it, but nonetheless.
Microsoft climbing higher still.
VSA, by the way, this had a big move in the pre-market and like an 85% retracement. This is curling. We'll see if it can get through the VWAP. I'll pass on this. I'm not interested in this one. SMR continuing. So that one worked here. SMR actually took the other leg higher here. Oklo is going to be the same deal on that one. Grats to anyone that took some of those power plays right out of the open.
Yep, Oracle climbing too. That one's looking like it's on the recovery. You look and see what that daily chart looks like. Okay, so we're approaching some of the highs that we were hitting earlier in the year after we had lost the 500-day SMA. So this 170 area, we start closing over it. Looks like we could go on to move through the 500. That's the next big moving average that's in the way.
NCI penny stock getting mentioned by WIS. This has actually gone into dollar territory. This just popped again out of its halt. So this just resumed and is moving higher here. Bird pulled back $2 from its impulse high, but it looks like it's trying to trade back higher.
Got a seller in the way at 1150.
Hood, this is curling back. We'll see if that can take out 86. Market really pulled back from that impulse move. Hopefully it didn't trap folks.
It's not trapping Lion. He's lightning into all this upside.
I think that was the smart move here today. Thinking about it, mentioning Watt. This is continuing to trade higher. So this traded higher in the pre-market, now higher again in the regular session. What do you got, 13?
This one, I don't know if you remember this one, but
Watt?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Watt. Well, this is wireless charging back in the day.
Yeah. And we had talked about at one point how this company could go on to, wirelessly charge EVs if you had like the required hardware for it for the EV. But you could essentially make these wireless charging parking spaces. You pull into a parking space and start wirelessly charging your car. No hookups or anything like that. It's just one of the things that we explored with this company. And I remember this thing was, it must have reverse split because this thing was under $1 at one point.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, let's check. Let's check what the split history on this puppy is.
But looks like this is trying to get back up towards 25. I don't know if it's going to get there just yet, but we got a golden cross that happened in March. That's the first time the 50 and the 200 have crossed paths.
This did a 1 for 30 in August of last year, 13.
Since November of 2022, when it death crossed. So pretty interesting stuff here. Maybe this is one to certainly keep on your radar. And I think the news was kind of interesting too, because they've rolled out wireless power to Fortune 10 companies. So kind of interesting. Kind of interesting to see this one back.
Buffalo by Bicycle wants to take a look at Corning. That's ticker GLW. This was another kind of a huge winner here. Corning actually looks like this is trying to print lower.
Well, here's
what the daily chart
run.
looks like.
Yeah, this thing went on a massive run, so if it's needing to cool off.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 160-ish.
Yep, that's what I would be looking at too.
Okay, good.
If we lose 160, there's going to be a gap fill in the 50s that takes it down to just under 149. Even if you get that, that takes you to the 20-day SMA, near the 50-day SMA. That would be even a better spot. But I agree. I think 160 is where you're going to probably see support.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay, I think you're right. They need to really come in here because they've been on a great run. Now maybe that's the hardware that needs to come in.
Rustam's GoPro, he was mentioning this earlier. GoPro ripping out of the gate. Rustam, you got to be happy. That thing was a penny stock, straight up today.
All right. Shorting Bird. Good luck to you, West Capital.
Yeah, I don't like shorting on these initial day of these big time movers. Longs are the way to go for me, but good luck.
Bird might not be finished. And this thing has been squeezing shorts all day. So if you're going to short Bird, just please be careful with this. It looks like Microsoft's starting to weaken a little bit after having that nice, what is this, an $8-9 run.
Bird, this actually looks like this is trying to punch higher if it can go through 12.
No.
OSS, is anyone in this name? I'm not, Jay. I know you've talked about that a couple of times. What was in that update from the CEO? This is a nice move higher here. One Stop Systems. Let's see if we have this here real quick.
West Capital. Please be careful. One Stop Systems. Okay. Technology stored for. So this is it. I was just looking to see if this was going to be kind of in the similar space as Micron and SMDK.
The CEO is touting record quarterly earnings, record gross margin, and the second highest quarter for sales on record. So a pretty good update here from the executive team to shareholders.
So they had some news on Monday. Just trying to scan through it here real quick. So this is a clean energy generator. And it has technology, hardware, storage, and peripherals as its industry description. Okay, so OSS, I mean, it's just riding that 200-day SMA.
High-speed switch, storage systems, edge applications for artificial intelligence. That is in the right theme, that is for sure.
Yep. Okay, so I'm looking at a monthly chart for OSS. I think that if we start closing over 10, this thing's going to come up to like 15 or 16. That's just what it looks like to me. I'm looking at a monthly chart, and even on a monthly chart, I mean, if you like trend lines, this is the chart for you.
I think I see exactly what you're talking about, 13.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, are you connecting this last one?
I'm using the wicks. I am using the wicks. The high of the 2021 highs. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going through here then.
Yep.
Let me rearrange this.
Yeah. So and that's kind of leaning into why I think that if we start closing over 10, that we're going to go up towards that trend line, which is going to take it to like 15 or 16. So if that happens, then this happens basically.
Okay. All right, let's check in on some of the stocks that we were looking at. Let me reset my chart here. SMR. Oh man, we might get 12 prints on that. Boy, I was out of that one too early, but that's okay. See, Kathy, it happens to everybody. Bird is about to fly. I see what you did there, G-Man. I see what you did there. Here's what Bird looks like. It looks like it's kind of consolidating up here. See if it can move through 12.
That's looking like it could be a little heavy now. We'll see.
The wicks telling you that?
The wicks, the volume, you know, it looks like you're getting some support in the 1060s, but that lower volume is making me think that sellers might take over.
Apple might be curling back up. VIX continuing to melt. That's at the day lows here.
Space names are mixed today, but having a pretty good day. I think Jay was mentioning MDA, also MNTS having a great day too. I think that's the best performing space name right now. Yeah, and
the market will shoot this bird down.
And Kathy, YSS is on the list. We put that on the list recently. Definitely within the space theme. Yeah, here we go with Bird. This is starting to look like we're going to lose that 10. The 1060s. This is where the support would be initially. If we lose this, you have VWAP, and then after that, we're probably coming down to around 8. Yeah, it has been great. YSS has been great.
Looking really quickly here at Bird. Let me go ahead and draw it. We do have a fair value gap coming up here, so this would be right here. It is unmitigated. This would be the second fair value gap. The first one worked, so maybe we'll get this one. 970 might be your entry there. It's going to be your 9 EMA.
Bird now at 1075. Yeah, well, what was it a second ago? Wasn't it higher? Back to Bird. Yeah, because it was coming down to 1060, the 1060s. But I guess we dipped beneath that briefly and went back up. Still in the sideways consolidation. Volume still not looking great. I'm starting to see some more sellers stack up here, but some of them are getting taken out.
Down goes the Bird. Westcap, who's shorting it. Down goes the Bird. It's a crappy company. What a crappy evaluation.
Oh, I mean, like whenever we look at these movers, none of them really have valuations that make sense. These are all just volatility moves and low float movement. No, I don't think we want to be sticking around in any of the movers when they come up on a list. Some of them are good, but most of them, they're just day trades.
And in fact, an example of that would be Roller, right? This is one that was big yesterday. Let's see what this is doing here today. Roller down 6.5%. It looks like it tried to bounce. Boy, it traded down yesterday. It traded down in the after hours, traded down in the pre-market, tried to bounce here, really couldn't get above the big time pullback low level. So this is an example here. Let me make this chart a little bit more easy to see. This is an example of exactly why 13 was saying a lot of these things, day trades only, got to get out of them by the end of the day here. You're seeing that here on Roller.
Microsoft still going higher, knocking on the door of 404. Error 404, resistance not found.
That's not bad at all, actually. Not bad at all. Bird into the fair value gap.
Oh yeah, there we go. All right.
Sub 9 drop into the fair value gap. Never quite got that 9 EMA, which I think I would like to see.
There's that VWAP support in Bird. So lost the first level of support. Here's the second one. We'll see how long this one lasts. If we lose that VWAP support, then I think I said 8. 8's where I think it goes.
Yeah, Westcap, good stuff with Roller yesterday. Looks like you're looking for something similar here on Bird.
Kind of slowed down a little bit here in a lot of these names that have been moving this morning.
Yeah, and that SPY bounce didn't even really get close to the highs here, so that's going to have to firm up to show any more upside. NASDAQ, on the other hand, is at the highs, so tech clearly outperforming here today, and we kind of covered the hardware to software rotation that we were seeing earlier. Okay, here comes Bird back down to 10. Let's see if this can find some support between 950, 975. That'd be a decent potential bounce spot from the fair value gap area. Not sure it's going to work, but that would be where you could try.
Yeah, Zoltan, that's absolutely why they're moving, but that's not going to take effect for another 45 days. So what's going to happen in the interim? You know, maybe they fly today? Do we sell it later on in the week? Maybe. Okay, what's going on next?
Yeah, I haven't seen really anything terribly interesting with the options here today. If you guys find any of it, let me know.
Things really slowed down. What is this? Uh-oh. What is this? This looks like one that we've traded before, and it just had a big drop.
Which one?
RECT.
Oh, wrecked. Yeah. RECT. This is from Monday this week, isn't it?
It got wrecked. Look at this. Yeah, you're right. It was Monday, the 13th. That took us up, we tested the 200-day SMA. And,
Bird, really quickly, by the way, this did not get down to the buy area that I liked, but Bird is bouncing off the top end of the fair value gap area. Given that it's kind of running up to where it consolidated here, I would trim half of this if I was in it, just right here, just to book some of these gains. That way you can set a stop probably beneath that 9 EMA. And if this thing really just kind of reverses, you can still get out with some gain there. But this is actually a pretty nice bounce here on Bird. Here's Wrecked real quick, 13.
Yeah, did you play Wrecked?
Oh.
I mean, if you're shorting these movers, this was the one to short. You just had to wait a couple of days. But man, look at this move down.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This thing went down to the former resistance that became support. Now it's losing that. The 50-day SMA. Ugly move in red.
Yeah, what an absolute pounding. This thing down 35% here.
All right, let's stop looking at the ugliness and see something pretty.
No fresh news yet on RECT. This just looks like traders running for the doors, running for the exits.
Man, I bet those Microsoft calls that everybody was talking about this week are just absolutely printing.
How's CoinFox's Roku doing? I got to refresh my platform. I don't know why the search bar is taking so long to find these tickers. Let me refresh here after we check Roku. Okay, cool. So Roku, this is actually a little bit higher, and it's doing a decent job trying to hold its VWAP here. Let me refresh real quick. It's a good mention, CoinFox.
Yeah, it's moved through one of the resistance areas that I was looking at. I think 108 was resistance area. 112 is next, I think. We've had what? 2 closes above that price, despite all the price action that we had above it in December and January. Only 2 closes out of all that above 12 or 112.
All right, SPY looks like it's trying to hold this area and bounce. Not sure if I trust it. I did get a buy a buy signal on my SPY 0 DTE indicator. I'm actually going to make some adjustments to that later today. I think I've got enough data to do so.
Sorry for the dead air. I'm just trying to look for something that's, oh, here we go. Okay, so USAR, and I bet CRML is also still climbing too. That's up 3.3%. CRML not climbing as much as USAR is, but with USAR, if I can pull this up quick enough here, we should see. It seems like every time this moves through and closes over the 200-day SMA, it's typically pretty big moves. This might end up going up to the 50-day SMA today, USAR.
SPY is still trying here. It cannot really make another decent move higher. It is trying to bounce, but it is still kind of figuring it out. Apple's trading higher. Ondas holding higher. Tesla's still at the highs. Amazon backed off a little. 74K on Bitcoin, by the way. And oil still down 0.25%.
Microsoft's still climbing. It's now over 405.
Lion and Zach trying to remind you folks that a lot of people are chasing here. Don't get too carried away. Don't get trapped. And that was one of the big things, Zach. That's why I broke down the SPY chart the way I did earlier. If we trade up, right, and we did trade up to 696, so we basically went towards the all-time high. If we get up there and everyone starts chasing because they were all, short or thinking that they should be short and that the market was going to roll over, you might have people chase that to the upside only to get trapped.
Congressman bought Microsoft. I think there's been a lot of folks buying Microsoft. It wouldn't surprise me, but Congressman, let's pull up those government trades and see what we got here.
Yeah, it would be. Let's see. You got the 415 one here. That was sold. Let's see. The purchase was April. That was 2025. Let me see if that's. Let me see something here.
The last
one I have is March 30th. Fetterman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge call buy. I've got Gottheimer and Fetterman. Who was it, Jay? What Congress member was that? Part of me is wondering if this stale is data. A part of me also thinks you might be referring to Fetterman. But there have been recent buys, whether we're talking about the same one or not. Indeed, at the end of March there were some recent buys. Not touching that one, thinking about it. Not touching it.
Yeah, just looking to see if I could find any other names here. The ones that I've got return on my search here was Josh Gottheimer, who did the large call options this month. So I think that's who it was. Gottheimer.
That's what's being reflected here. Now, Gottheimer was from the House. It's Fetterman from the Senate. What did he say? He just said Congressman.
But I think this from Gottheimer reflects maybe a different purchase, because this was reported that he bought in April. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Captain Cloudy, good stuff on your Tesla calls there. That was straight up out of the open. I didn't. Maybe you gave this to us and I didn't see it, but what was the entry signal on there on Tesla? SPY still trying to bounce here. Apple coming back onto the highs.
Bird got that VWAP support. It's trying to come back up towards 12. Still no closes over 12 yet, though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously anything can change, especially with some of these wild ones here. But very, very clearly, this bird bounce from the fair value gap area, maybe even the 9 EMA. This really ran into some resistance there at about 11.5. Now we've got wicks above. We're unable to break that. Obviously, that can change, but this is what we'd be looking at here for more highs. West Cap, let me know where you're at with the bird short. ANL, you're saying rug pulled from 15. What is the news here? This thing, you're not kidding, man. This thing just lost 50% of its value. $15 halted at 720 to the downside. Got to think that there's news driving this. SPY's trying to go. I don't see news on this on ANL. Let me know if you have something there.
Let me see if I can find something here.
So we have no fresh news today on SanDisk. Alu, yesterday it got a $1,200 price target, traded up, so it might just be a regression back to the mean, down 6% here. But
I bet that this has something to do with some biotech news, like maybe a phase didn't work out or something happened.
Yeah.
And now everybody's just exiting because the company's going to have to raise cash or something. So I think that's what it could be. So let's see what they've got. They've got an ongoing phase 1 trial for solid tumors harboring RAS mutations. So maybe that's it. Maybe there's also, they did the private placement of 140 million.
All right. Sorry to interrupt you while you're reading here, but Bird is trying to do the thing. So we just talked about some of those wicks maybe stopping it. Right now, we're starting to get an impulse move that's trying to push above that. I'd watch 1150 here. It's playing with that 1150 level.
It could be fast too. If it's going to be this candle, I mean, if it's going to be a candle, it's going to be this one, the third candle out after this, the red drop. So we could have a matte hold pattern forming here, which would mean one more green candle, and then we get the downside candles afterwards.
Okay.
So we'll see.
And is that on a 5-minute chart?
I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that ends up what happens here. But there's a real fight to get into 12.
Danielle saying, Ryan, your gap work, did you take it? No. Remember, when I talked about the gap, one of the things that I like on these fair value gaps is when you can get pullbacks where that line up. So we had the 9 EMA sitting at like 970, 980. It never printed that. That's where I was kind of looking to take some entry here. This did bounce off the very top of this. Daniel, this is what I've noticed since kind of looking at this on a regular basis. Sometimes you get this, right? Sometimes you get the bounce pretty much right off the boundary or right off the very top of the fair value gap. But you often get better bounces and better entry if it coincides with another type of support level, whether that be a previous breakout level, some type of moving average, or the VWAP. So today, I was looking for a hold of the 9 EMA. It simply never printed it, so I simply didn't buy it. However, you're correct. This gap did work. Now, what I will say here, if you're comfortable scaling in, this might be a really good case study on how you can actually use this. Your first buy is right at the edge, and then your next buy or buys are at corresponding support levels within the gap. I would still probably look at a stop at the bottom or maybe even a little bit beneath the gap just because you don't want to get too crushed on these. This is just a day trade, but it did work here. Didn't give me the setup that I was looking for. Did not quite trade low enough. Maybe I should be a little bit more aggressive with that, but I'm okay not taking a big whack.
C. John wanted to look at Cypher Digital. Yesterday's candle, not really the greatest thing you want to see at the end of an uptrend. It could indicate the reversal here, but I think you'll get confirmation that this is headed lower if it loses, I would say, 1750. To me, that looks like the support area that we need to hold above.
SPY is ripping now. It actually just set a new intraday high, 696.37. I didn't see that happening on any news. You have Besant saying that the new Anthropic model is quite powerful. Stop me if you've heard that before. Ondas highs, Apple highs, Tesla highs, Bitcoin highs.
Is Anthropic going to release its source code for that new one as well?
I didn't see news for that, but I don't think so, considering that last time was a mistake.
I know, that's what I was getting at. That was a really big mistake.
Yeah, it was. You guys are talking about CAR. Let me tell you something. Big time shout out to our happy hour crew on CAR. A gentleman in there by the name of Gary talked about CAR, put it on everybody's radar, and did it about right here, 160. And this thing just went absolutely buck wild after that. This is a short squeeze, so a pullback here would be expected. Jay, shout out to you. I think you shared with us that David Prince from T3 was buying puts 2 weeks out in size and is willing to take them to zero here. He knows that this is coming back in. CAR, we got our first pullback from that short squeeze move higher.
I'd say it's certainly coming back to 300.
I would say at least probably more than that, I would guess.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's a support area. If you look at that daily chart where we had this we spent 2 days trying to get through 300. Finally, on the third day, it did. So to me, that's going to indicate that maybe there's a day where we get some support from 300, but we'll eventually lose it. Microsoft 406.88 is the high. Bird still hasn't made the last green candle. Looking weak. Not able to get back up to 12 yet. It might not.
Yeah, Bird's still running into resistance. That same 1150 area. We now have another wick above it. Still haven't seen anything gigantic as far as options go, just kind of flow back and forth here. NVIDIA, by the way, we were talking about hardware earlier. NVIDIA up by 1% here. We'll see if that can recapture 200. That would be a significant level for NVIDIA. Trimmed a few positions for future powder. Love the strategy there, Zach, especially right up here near all-time highs. We don't know what's going to happen next. Make sure you have powder. Tim told you that earlier, too.
Getting asked thoughts on CLSK with the rise in crypto. Bitcoin, I still think this is probably going to come down some more eventually. Well, let me back up here. Bitcoin, I don't think is going to start to rise meaningfully until we get closer, or maybe even after the next halving event. Just basing this off of like the past price action it's had leading into these events and afterwards. I still expect a lot of back and forth with Bitcoin, pretty much for the remainder of the year, if not a good portion of it. I think next year you'll probably see better moves in Bitcoin, but I think for now you're going to see a lot of back and forth. You might even see some lower prints in Bitcoin. But with respect to CleanSpark individually, that 50-week SMA looks like that would be a level I'd be keeping an eye on. We just got rejected this week from it. We lost it in February. We've been leaning on the 200-week SMA as support. So I think a recapture of that 50-week is going to be pretty important. And seeing how we're already getting resistance from it, I think that even lends even further credibility to how important this resistance area is around the 50-day SMA just underneath 12.
Yeah.
I think CAR might be holding a big holding in the trend. Yeah, you know what? That's probably it, Jay. That's why you're seeing transports down. Maybe it's just pulling all the other transport names down with it because CAR has been on a massive run.
A massive short squeeze run, by the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Seeing some Snap 10 calls. So we talked about Snap reducing its workforce by 1,000 people, and that on the back of AI productivity. Snap holding higher here, but it sure doesn't look like it wants to go much higher than this. Those 10 calls, I don't know.
Trying to figure something out here. So it's interesting that Snap is mentioning that they were, firing people because AI is replacing or making more productive, so where they don't need those folks. But during the last administration, there was a massive push to hire people through DEI programs, and there was a lot of contracts that the government was sending out if companies would hire under those programs. So I think a lot of the firing you've been seeing, yeah, sure, some of it might be AI and more productivity, but I think a lot of it has to do with offloading all those DEI hires since those contracts are now dried up and that program's done with.
Yeah, and that 1,000 jobs is roughly 16% of its workforce. They obviously don't mention any of the DEI stuff. I think that's a pretty good read through, though.
But they did hire.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. I agree with you.
This company in particular did. Yep. So anyway, I think it's a little bit of both. All right, looks like we're getting a little bit our next up move here in some of these names. Not Bird, but
SPY new highs 696.
Yeah. There you go. I think Microsoft was trying to push higher. Where'd that go? There it is. Nope. We hit. No, it's still the same high, 406.88. Haven't cleared that yet.
VSA, this is that sketchy one, came back to the VWAP, rolled over again, probably goes lower. I don't really think there's a whole lot there.
Yeah, B2B, that's one of the
highs.
That's one of the things that we were seeing with the last administration. We were looking at jobs report is how many of those, especially government hires, were taking place, and this was all in the back of providing incentives, and there were literal contracts that were going out that were only able to be taken if they would hire a certain number of folks under those programs. So yeah, I think now that money's dried up, you're seeing a lot of firing from those programs. Climbing more. Some of
I was going to say spot. Lebanese officials say ceasefire duration in Lebanon likely linked to the U.S.-Iran truce. Hezbollah lawmaker Ibrahim al-Musawawi tells Reuters Iranian regional efforts could lead to Lebanon's ceasefire soon. So I would suspect that this most recent little push up is probably on the backs of some of those comments. This to me just looks like the end of the war talks. The diplomacy is continuing. Nothing official yet, obviously, so I don't want to get too excited, but I think that's responsible for what we're seeing here in the market. Yeah, Axios, U.S. officials tell Axios that the U.S. and Iranian negotiations made progress in talks on Tuesday, moving closer to a framework agreement to end the war. So this is another day where we're getting more of those similar comments.
Thinking about it, Watt's still climbing. Yeah, I think it's important to point out it's expanding deployments with 2 Fortune 10 customers. We could probably think of what those Fortune 10 companies even are, but 2 of those, you've probably heard of them. They're not specifically saying what those are, but I can imagine they're probably ones that we've been talking about today, maybe even traded. But I think that's a very big deal, and this could take off. Let me see here.
All right, those top 10 companies: Walmart, Amazon, ExxonMobil, Apple, United Healthcare, CVS, Berkshire, Google, McKesson, and Cencora.
It's like we talk about most of those all the time.
The only
one of those
here,
two of those companies.
The only ones on here that we don't mention on a weekly basis is McKesson and Cencora. That's stock 9 and 10 in that list. Every other one is on here. What was the product or the service that they provided for those again?
So they are expanding Energis wireless. Oh, wait, hold on. They are. So it's just like they announced continued commercial momentum across the enterprise customer base, including the 2 Fortune 10 customers.
And it's for wireless charging, right?
Yep.
I gotta think, if I had to guess from this list which 2 it is, I think I would guess Apple and Amazon. Because I think that the Amazon angle is probably some wireless charging for the truck fleet that's EV, and Apple's the wearables.
I'm just trying to read more about exactly what this is that they have here. But I think it could be, wireless charging for, a plethora of devices that are enabled to, you have your phone that you can charge wirelessly, but I'm charging mine right now by setting it on this pad, and it's just, wirelessly charging it. Mm-hmm. But I think the concept here with this one is to have your device, your phone, anywhere, and just having it charge as soon as you enter the building.
Okay.
That's been a concept that's been talked a lot about.
Thinking about it, saying that it's Amazon and Walmart. Okay, at least I got one of them correct.
Now imagine that.
Your Lord Ryan.
Now that'd be interesting too, because if it could wirelessly charge a lot of its automated warehouse robots, that'd be insane. Or maybe you walk into a Walmart and your phone starts charging. How many people would continue to shop there if that happened?
I'll be honest. Me personally, I don't like wireless charging. I've noticed that whatever device it is that I'm wirelessly charging, its battery life is diminished from the wireless. I get much better long-term results from charging with a cord. but that's just me. That's just me. This was a great call, though, thinking about it. I'm glad you're banking here today. I mean, this is a 5-point move from yesterday, right? And this is up 32% here today. So this was really good for our group. Nice little pre-market break. If you weren't holding this and you wanted to just day trade it, between that and Bird, we had all we needed here today.
Yeah, Bird was the word, and it's still going sideways. Hasn't lost VWAP, hasn't retaken 12, but it's. I don't think it's going to stay up here forever. So maybe it's time to say thanks very much, Bird. Fly off.
You know what it is time to do? It's time to wrap it up here. You know what? Maybe I should make sure that we have. Let me make sure that our next group is here.
So they just arrived. Yeah, Jay, I don't remember Charge Point. I remember that one, but I don't remember it. Blink, I recall that one being absolute trash. So I got you on that one. This bird is a turkey.
Tesla, you're right. G-Man, I'm sorry. Or excuse me, Kenneth, I'm sorry. It was Tesla. That was another big winner. I wasn't on that one here today. Ondas was a big winner again here today. I think there's going to be more for that. All right, 13. We got Ben here, so I'm assuming the rest of the group is going to be coming here. You have any closing words for the group?
Hey, man, this has been another fun day. We're still having a great time with Bird. It hasn't really broken down yet, but just be careful with that one. It's gone up quite a bit. Just make sure you've got your capital ready. If your plan was to sell into this strength and be ready for tomorrow, good to hear. Come back here tomorrow and we'll trade some more. Have a good rest of your day, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, 13, have a good one. We appreciate you. We'll check in with you again tomorrow. And of course, we'll see you on happy hour tonight. Take care of yourself. Good stuff. All right, 13's departure leaves room for the story trading group. Let's go ahead and bring them in here. We've got Ben, Rhett, and Laptop. Ben, how you doing?
Doing excellent. Thank God. This is my best day in a very long time. Really well positioned for everything that's going on today. Lots of crazy names just exploding that were loaded up in Ryan. Watt was in this, took some profits. Robinhood loaded up big size at $80 last night, playing options today. I mean, there's just so much good stuff, guys. UMAC, Tesla, crazy. Thank
All right,
God.
Good stuff, Ben.
And
Take it away.
The screen is green. We're going up.
Screen is
up.
green. I love it, Laptop. I love it. Up and to the right, baby. Up and to the right.
That's
All right,
it. That's my mantra.
Have a good one.
Right. Take care. Bye. Up and to the right. Man, those 0DTE QQQ calls, I got in with you, Laptop. You called these out at $1.05, $3.
Yeah.
I have a sell order at $1.80. It's about to hit. There it goes. I'm out. Oh,
There it is.
wow.
Yep.
80%. Beautiful call there. All right. We've been all over this from a macro perspective, calling the bottom in the markets. Essentially, we've been green signal, loading the boat everywhere. This is just beautiful. I mean, where do we start? I have to start with Robinhood. Actually, no. Let me start with the Watt. Watt up 32%. Beautiful press release up this morning. I sold all my trade shares, keeping all my long-term shares. Looking for dip entries if we can get them. So that's a big win for me today. But all right, we got to talk about Robinhood and Bull. This is pattern day trading change at the SEC is huge. Okay. Obviously we know it's huge qualitatively, but then I actually went into AI last night to try to quantify it. And both ChatGPT and Gemini were like blown away. They're like, this is a very significant event for Robinhood. It went through all the math and Webull. And it's like this stock is going to have a serious re-rating, and you're going to see like massive analyst upgrades on this over the next couple of weeks. And by the way, earnings are coming up in like 10 days or so, April 28th, 13 calendar days. So that's another catalyst that will probably want people to stay into the stock. So Hood, biggest one of the day for me. I have a 25% common share position, a 3% position in various call options expiring this week. What can you say? And look at Tesla. I didn't catch this. Tesla was a top pick on Monday for us, but man, we didn't stick with it. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, kept on going. I have in my long term, obviously, like the rest of the world does, but I'm missing this move in the trade account, but watching it. What a crazy move in Tesla right now. It looks like markets are going to, as I predicted since early this week, that we're going to go to all-time new highs. And I have to wonder if we're going to squeeze above it. 11 days in a row of green candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11 days in a row. There's got to be people offsides here. Got to be significant amount of money shorting this over the last 2 weeks. They're offsides. And if you get new all-time highs, this thing might just squeeze higher to like 645, 650. I don't know, Laptop, what you think of that. But it's definitely a risk on the table if you're not in the
So
market.
UBS put an upgrade on Tesla today, so that was a part of the help with the as
Oh,
well as the European news.
yeah. Also on the radar, Nike with the insider buys from the CEO and from Tim Cook.
Yep.
Pulling back here, though, a little disappointing move here. Laptop and I are on some call options on this one. But let me get your thoughts, Laptop, and then Rhett on Robinhood. I'm actually like a little bit disappointed in the. I mean, that looks great. If you look at a 5-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour daily, looks great. 1 minute chart here. I was kind of more expecting up and to the right all day. What are your thoughts on the importance of this catalyst, the price action right now, and where it's headed?
Rhett, you want to go first?
Rhett, go for it.
Yeah, definitely. I can go first. I mean, looking at it, I mean, it looks great. I think this catalyst is huge, especially for bull. So I think we're probably going to head in the near term, probably 90 plus. I mean, just looking at the technicals, we have some resistance that we're hitting now, but I think our next big resistance area is going to be around 88. I think this thing will probably get rolling, and then we'll see price, the banks upgrading and giving better upgrades probably tomorrow. They're looking probably just to buy and assess this all right now. So long term, I think this is great, and I think the story rewrites, especially for Robinhood and Bull, because I mean, it's unlocking a whole new ball game of traders that were restricted with smaller accounts. Now they're not so restricted, so you're going to see a bigger flow of money, I think, coming into these, especially with crypto names, with the younger people trying to trade. So we'll see how that plays out for them.
And any hesitation with the 1 minute chart here with QQQ exploding up and to the right?
Yeah, I am a little worried about this. I think we could see a little sell off here. I mean, it's kind of weak compared to the overall market at the moment.
I mean, I'm fine with my common shares, but it makes me nervous about the call options expiring Friday. I don't like to see this, but
yeah, I was trying to sell those. I didn't get filled on those sadly yet, so I still have 15 of those 90s that I'm trying to get rid of.
I have a lot. I have 82, 83, 84, 85, 90, even got some hundreds. I got like all the call options on Hood.
Oh, jeez.
Laptop, over to you.
Yeah. So a few things with Hood. I think we're seeing definitely intraday profit taking right here. We had a good run up overnight. It's running here. People can take profits. I think that people, perhaps traders, were waiting for Hood to follow up with the new PDT rules and make some kind of announcement, which
Oh, Bull did
we
that
talked
this
about
morning.
earlier. I'm sorry?
Bull did that this morning. They already PR'd it.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, so I'm saying maybe traders are expecting something like that from Hood, if we're talking about that. And so maybe there's a little disappointment at that, but I'm sure Hood's work, like you mentioned before, is working on that there. I think that I've looked at the open interest. There's a lot of open interest on the $100 calls on Friday, April 17th. And I think we definitely could get there by Friday. And I think once Hood says, yeah, we are ready to do, we have our IT in place and we're ready to allow traders to do multiple day trades without getting penalized with the new PDT, with only with a lower account balance, not 25,000 but now 2,000. Then we might see another bounce, another run on Hood, which, profit wise for them, they're going to see more activity. We could be looking at $115 to $120 with another short pop.
I mean, that news can come today.
It could.
I'm actually very surprised that Webull beat them to this. That's pretty interesting.
Like I said,
me.
I think traders might be disappointed. And I think that And I definitely think Hood's working on that. I mean, I look at the open interest on Friday, huge open interest on these $100 calls. So I think that smart money might know something.
Yeah, possibility. And look, I mean, if the market was like more excited about Webull being first, I think we'd see that in the price action. We're clearly not seeing that by this.
That's a very good
Weekday at the
point.
moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Counterpoint to your point there, laptop. If there was
Yeah.
disappointment in Hood, you'd see Bull up, better price action on Bull. So maybe it's just a little bit of profit taking here. If someone put a gun to my head and I had to say what's going to happen at end of day here, I think we're going to be closing at the highs, new highs on Hood at the end of the day. This thing, I really wouldn't even be surprised to see this push here. What's this target right here? 88.60. I think 88.60 could still happen today. I know there's some disappointment. I'm disappointed. I like up into the right. This is the kind of chart I like Tesla, all right? Especially if
Yeah.
I'm in near-term call options. I'm a little disappointed in this, but given the importance of this news, I really wouldn't be surprised to see this really take off in the afternoon.
I agree. Yeah. We're at that time of the day. 10:15.
Yeah, and here's another point
to
too.
11:15.
What's
Jay
that?
Rice made another good point too. They lost a bunch of assets in March in the downturn from a lot of degen trading. So the
Okay,
smaller
but that
accounts
was
might get
also
hit.
also true yesterday.
So
You know, that was also true 2 days ago. That's not new information. So like you got to look at what's the delta of information that's going to cause the delta in price. That doesn't concern me too much.
you guys want to talk about that crazy stock today bird switching from shoes to AI?
You guys can talk about it. I mean, that reminds me of. 'Cause I look at Bird. I don't know what all Birds. Wasn't this an EV bicycle company or something? EV motorcycle
Footwear.
company. Oh, footwear. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about this company. Up 376%, market cap 100 million. I mean, I look at this chart and I see serial dilution, probably like a pump and dump shitco scam company, in my opinion. Looking at it, like when I see this and you bring up that news, I immediately think about GoPro because that's a more legit company with probably a more legit process in place with this consultant they hired to try to do the shift. And they have cameras. You'd think they probably want to do something with drone cameras or something. It's probably what they have in mind. But I don't know anything about Bird. I even look at the news. I just look at that chart. I'm like, I'm not interested. But the flailing shoe company is pivoting to AI. I mean,
I'd short it here.
yeah,
At
not my.
13.97, I'd short it here.
It's not my type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be opposed small size to short. But
Yeah,
another one that's been beaten up, ASTS. So you guys want to talk about that?
I mean, ASTS. So you and I had a difference of opinion on this yesterday. So the GSAT Amazon, buyout came, and it's interesting because on the previous days when there were rumors of this buyout, ASTS went up. So the presumption was, now that it's closed, ASTS would go up again, and it was up 4 or 5% in pre-market, and it reversed bearish engulfing candle, as you could see there.
Yeah.
I started hesitating, not so much that the GSAT Amazon would be interpreted differently once it closed, but maybe it was. Okay. Maybe it was. Maybe it's like, okay, now it's a competition and we got to reprice. I don't know. Maybe there's some concern about that. I have seen some comments on social media. The reason I was hesitating was because this launch that's supposed to be coming up with New Glenn, it's New Glenn, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's New Glenn. It opens up 6:45 is the launch
Right.
time for Saturday.
So the night before the GSAT was announced, first of all, for the last few weeks, like every day the launch gets delayed. Gets delayed another day, another day, another day, another delay today. It keeps getting delayed. And then the night before, Intel up a 52-week high again, up 3% here. And then the night before, I saw a post from, I think it was Jeff Bezos, and maybe he was retweeting something from, the Blue Origin account or something. But from that tweet, I learned that this launch, this New Glenn launch, is some sort of test launch. It's like, yeah, it's our third launch, and we're testing this and this and this. And oh, by the way, we're putting ASTS's precious satellite on there that probably costs hundreds of millions of dollars on this test launch number 3, which keeps getting delayed. That put like a really kind of nervous flavor in my mouth the night before. So maybe I just got lucky. Maybe that's meaningless. But I was like hanging on to that yesterday morning as a reason to not be bullish on ASTS after that GSAT news. And it keeps getting delayed. It's a little bit scary because I think they're like really behind schedule.
They are behind schedule now, so
they are
we gotta
behind
ramp it up.
schedule. And this next one keeps getting delayed, and now it's being characterized. Maybe it always was characterized as a test launch, but I didn't know that personally. So I was starting to get scared because I'm seeing on social media, like, what if this thing explodes? I don't know.
Yeah. But the thing is, people are comparing. The other thing I saw online too, some people are that don't know the story very well with the and people that are covering it, the analysts and stuff. They're considering ASTS, GSAT, and Starlink all to be the same. But in actuality, the only competitor is Starlink versus GSAT. Because if you think about it, ASTS is in a totally different ballgame. Yeah, okay, I understand. It's still
direct to cell.
satellite.
They're the only ones. The GSAT's
The
also
only one.
similar to
You have to
Starlink.
think of it as
Universal.
it's a pretty much Wi-Fi, pretty much, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because you still have to have your router and all that other good stuff.
So
like,
look,
no,
it's
people don't want that.
very possible this is a buying opportunity for long term. But you know, personally, at this point, especially now that it's down into the event, usually you see a run up into the event.
Yeah, I de-risked, guys. I de-risked, if I'm being honest. And I rotated into hoods, so that worked out perfect.
Yeah. But in this case, the good thing is that after if the rocket doesn't blow up whenever it takes off, then the stock probably will explode. 10-15% the next day. And now they're pushed it back to Saturday. Right?
Oh yeah, Saturday at 6:45 is the opening. Same opening.
I actually wouldn't be opposed to taking some call options on Friday. Because the chart is now set up for this to explode 10-15% on Monday if there's a successful launch over the weekend.
Yeah,
so something to think
possibility,
about.
But I want to go too crazy. Always do. Size accordingly, that'd be kind of lottos.
Yeah, man. Watt just nonstop after the business update this morning, which looked very promising.
Looks like Hood's trying to curl back up here. It keeps bouncing off this 50 now. Almost got there once. Pulled back down. Now we're here again that we bounced off of. So key level to watch here on the 5-minute chart, the 50-day moving average.
And I'm a big fan of Sats. Sir, most people.
Oh, how's Sats doing here today? I have a huge position in Sats.
Doing well.
Actually, Sats was my largest position yesterday until I saw the Hood news, the pattern day trader news, and then like I started selling stuff left and right to buy as much Hood as I could. I kept all the Sats, but I bought enough Hood to overcame my Sats, and Hood became my largest position last night from 0 to hero, as I say. Look at this breakout. We're finally breaking out here out of this resistance at 132.17. Beautiful. Daily looks great. The RSI is breaking out, and the RSI is not even overbought yet.
We've had a significant increase in short interest on Sats.
Really?
And so that's set. Yes, it's set it up for.
Who would short this?
I don't know, but I remember that we went. Well, we've gone from 31.45 to 33.38 million shares. 29.3% of the float is shorted. So I think they're setting themselves up for disaster. We just, like you said, we just broke through the 132 resistance, and we've had analysts increase price targets for it. So, and
we
then
just had some
big interest, 10% in SpaceX with the IPO, and I know the IPO has been pushed off, but that's still money that's being factored in, even on a discount.
I mean, the IPO. The betting markets are saying it's maybe pushed up, but I haven't heard any official news that it's pushed off.
No.
Yeah. By the way, there's news on SPAI that just came out at 10 a.m. on Benzinga here.
ASPI?
No, SPAI. It's
SPAI.
Yeah, it's in my drone list. I think UMAC has a stake in it. RCAT maybe, I don't know, but it says SafePro successfully completes U.S. Army exercise featuring rapid threat detection in active minefield inactive minefields powered by patented AI edge processing using drones. That just came out at 10 a.m. The stock I've had my eye on. Man, I gotta get another screen just for the Benzinga news feed. I have 3 screens that it's not enough. You need another one.
Too funny.
Look at Bird still going. That's craziness.
Oh
Yeah, dude. Someone's asking about VSA, Vision System AI Inc. I mean, this thing looks like a shitco in my opinion. Looks like probably some dilution. Yeah, had reverse split. Looks like
Yeah, I mean,
this
oh
other good
gosh,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, I've never heard of the company, but one look at this chart, and I have better things to do.
Definitely.
3,200% turnover in the
Yeah,
shares.
I got better things to do. There's some toxic elements in that cap structure now that's being worked through today, intraday. Yes.
The chart's done. Walk away from that chart.
Yeah. Take your loss, move on, and trade real companies.
Or take your gain and walk on.
Yeah, take your gain, whatever.
Some people can make gains.
Buy Webull, buy Hood, I don't know, buy the Qs, UMAC, Axon. I mean, plenty of other better things to do.
Tesla,
TMC, which you pointed out, ASPI, the helium
TMC.
bottleneck, AOI. Oh, AOI. It's still up and to the right on Sydney Sweeney. I sold that.
Yeah.
Did he ever sell this one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sold about 1898.
Wow,
like that.
better exit than me. I sold it 1869.
Yeah.
I guess.
So was talking to Doug last night. We're doing his live show, and I did throw out 12 stocks that have an interest in predictive betting, this predictive markets and stuff. And today that list is still 12 out of 12. So what I'm going to do for everybody in the Discord is I'm going to give you a list of those 12. I'm going to post them in the Discord today for you. If you'd like to have access to that, join our Discord.
Oh, wow. Look at this. I can't believe this. I had a limit order. I had a limit order to buy SIVEF.
Yeah.
At $2.20. And I was looking at the chart. I'm like, there's no way that was me. I never get this lucky, right? When it hits like the low of day or high of day and I had a limit order there, it's never me that gets filled. So I didn't even check. And I just checked right now. Like, you never know. Maybe I filled. My entire bid got filled, which was actually not too small of a bid. I don't even know why the volume's not showing here. The volume was much higher than 2,000. It's an OTC. OTC data is like not accurate on these charts. And on this level 2 here, the time and sales not accurate on OTCs. So in any case, I got into this at 220. Let me see what it's trading at overseas now. So it's up 25%. So they had some significant news in the photonic space, and it was up overseas. Here's Sivers Semiconductors is up 28% overseas. We're only up 25%. Yeah, it's pulled back a little bit overseas. Okay. So the ARB, a little bit of an ARB opportunity still maybe, but anyway, I got a nice entry at 220. The problem is on this OTC at Fidelity, they charge you a $50 commission for each buy and sell. That makes it very hard to trade.
Yeah, because just right there, one buy and sells $100.
Yeah, that's crazy. Axon, nice bounce back. One of my largest positions.
Yeah, hit our 400 swing target.
It hit our target to the penny. And I wish I didn't have a limit order there. So, I sold some at like 394, 395 after I saw it hit 400. I do that too often. But this can probably still go to the next, maybe like 420 over the next few days. This is ridiculous opportunity created by the Cespocalypse and Anthropic. They have nothing to do with any of this damage that's going on. Their AI, their software is integrated with their hardware, and they're just like growing like gangbusters. I have a lot of exciting things going on. It's still even now here at 390. I loaded the boat literally at the bottom on Friday, April 10th, and Monday, April 13th. I've been waiting years to be able to buy Axon because it's so expensive. It's just been hard for me to buy it. So I had a small position that I was underwater on, and I averaged down big time in a big way. Axon, Sats, and Robinhood are my 3 largest positions right now. Hood's probably first because of the big move today now, but they're all kind of competing for that number one spot. But yeah, this is a great entry opportunity for long-term accounts on Axon.
Bloom Energy just printed another new high, 225.20.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I
Then
know.
someone saying AMPX was a banger. Thanks all. And then Jay Rice is saying he's in IRDM July 2250 calls.
Yeah, AMPX, one of my biggest wins of the year, but I've missed this little move the last couple of days. It's not that significant. Okay, yeah.
What was the amount of those calls for IRDM? What was the strike price?
I think it's the 2250 calls.
IRDM was a topic.
Huh?
I think it was yesterday on our show.
It says the July 22.5 calls.
Okay, because we're at $38. So. Okay.
In the money, deep in the money.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Oh, I get.
I used to do
Here
that.
we go. Hood's curling back up here, guys.
Look at Tesla. Oh my gosh, look at Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Nancy Pelosi does that. If you ever look at her options plays, most of them deep in the money.
Yeah.
So she can get something if it goes against her.
Yep.
Yeah, Tesla's looking solid.
Yeah. Missing that Tesla move. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for this thing. I think there's a very good chance you get that press release from Robinhood today. I think there's a very good chance you get it today. I mean,
and what do you think about Trump and geopolitical? You think?
Oh, are we still talking about that?
Well, I think the market. I think somebody's waiting for proof. Something.
Look.
Somebody says the strait is open, but prove it. Why are you sending all these planes and all the military there if it's open? You'd bring them home instead.
Here's my thing on geopolitics. On this day here, it was a Thursday before Good Friday, April 2nd. You had a huge red to green day, up on bad news. Even oil was up 9-10% that day. Ahead of a 3-day weekend, no de-risking. That was my sign to turn bullish on the following Monday, April 6th. And that was also my sign to have a much less focus on geopolitics in my analysis. On that day, the market decided that this is not an issue. They probably got a phone call from Trump and Howard Lutnick, and they're like, "Don't worry, folks, we're gonna make a deal. Everything's gonna be working out great." Something happened that gave money confidence to come in that day, and that's when I became less concerned about the geopolitics. I will say, however, now that we're up 10, 11 days in a row, I really don't. So I'm really not so concerned about the geopolitics now. I think even the oil, I think the world will be surprised how quickly alternative routes will be found, alternative sources of energy. You have all these empty tankers coming to the United States. And maybe it does
working on additional pipelines.
Right. And it could take
building a new canal.
Right. And it could take 1 to 2 years for all that to fully come online. Sure. Right. But the market's forward looking, and it might just discount the price of oil, ahead of that. So I'm not so concerned about the geopolitics anymore, except for the fact that we are now up 11 days in a row, and the RSI is just getting into overbought territory. So you're getting to the point where the market's going to start becoming more sensitive to any news to say, like, what's our excuse for a sell-off? So that's where I start being a little more worried about the geopolitics, maybe on a Friday leading into the weekend. Is the market going to start seizing on any little bad news to say, okay, this is our trigger to do a correction? But on the other hand, I said earlier, I really don't know what's going to happen after this all-time high. So predicting the all-time high has been easy because of the positioning of the RSI. Here we go. It's already hit on SPY. Okay. So
the Qs are about to follow suit. I mean,
So that was easy to say, okay, we're going to get to the all-time new high. At that point, is it going to be we're overbought and therefore, we're going to be hypersensitive to geopolitics or any concern to sell off? Or is this probably historic run? I'm curious to find the data on this. Is this historic run have so many people off sides, so many shorts in here, that once you do hit all-time highs, they're going to have to cover, causing a short squeeze in the market? Those are the two scenarios. I don't know which is going to happen. If you had to put a gun to my head, I would say short squeeze. Just looking at the chart, just looking at the RSI and the shape of these charts, it seems unbelievable, but you might go from 11 days up to like 12 days up to like up 4% in a day. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to make a plug for my favorite ETF. Well, my second favorite ETF.
NASA, right?
NASA's my second favorite. Yeah.
Oh, so which one's your favorite?
Sorry, NASA is currently my first favorite. Yes, you're right. My second favorite now is KORU, and I've been pounding the drum on this and pounding the table on this for quite a while. Is that when it hit down to 223, which was around the 31st, right around when Korea got really in trouble, South Korea, with all the imports and oils. 223. It had come off of a high recently of close to 700, 680, 689, 690, and now it's at 443. It's come up, it's come up $200 in just a few days. This thing moves, and I'm telling you that it lags. If you think about it, if we get good news in the U.S. market, typically the Asian markets follow. The Korean index, of which this fund is based, is the KOSPI, the Korean Stock Exchange Index, like our Dow or SPY here. Tomorrow morning, when that market opens up, this is going to rocket because it's going to follow.
All right, you convinced me. I'm buying right now.
And KORU is going to follow suit.
I just bought KORU. All right. Okay. You were making the pitch for it this morning, but I was too focused on Robinhood and individual stocks. So I just got a 7% position. Oh wait, but this is levered. 7% might be too much. It's 3x.
Yeah, it is a 3x.
Yeah, what kind of allocation usually doing something like this?
2.24.
Yeah, it's 3x, 7% too much. I got to scale that back. All right.
I think Palantir wants 145.
Oh, was that our? Oh, I forgot to. I've added this to the long-term account. Yeah. Okay. I added this heavy in the long-term account actually. Palantir. Yeah.
I'm sitting on $150 15 January 27 calls.
Nice.
And got them in. Oh, so a little expensive, but I'm already up 15%. I'm up a good chunk of change.
There goes Axon,
and
but
it's going to go way over 150.
Axon and Palantir are the two best opportunities as a result of the fallout. Yeah, from the apocalypse.
The best runner today is definitely going to be Apple, in my opinion.
I haven't looked
at it right now. That's what's pulling this market up right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, Axon. Yeah, Tesla's crazy.
Tesla's pulling the market up.
Yeah.
I think Apple's a bigger contributor, though.
Did he ever sell those Q calls? I sold them at 180.
I'm done. Yeah, I sold at 184. Okay. 184. I got in at 102, out at 184.
Yeah, they're 226 now, 227.
Wow, same with Microsoft. These sharp are explosive.
Yeah, it looks like we may be heading towards that short squeeze scenario, guys. Yeah. Because now SPY is already over. Yeah. We may be heading for short squeeze.
635.80.
I kept my green signal this morning with our Carpe Diem alert. 2 days in a row, Carpe Diem. Seize of the day, guys. You got to know when to be in the market and press it. And
Jay Rice is saying he'd be careful with software names.
Yeah, but Axon and Palantir are the two exceptions, and I think I'm sure there's many exceptions, but these are my two favorite victims.
Yeah, especially when you get into the government stuff.
Exactly. The Palantir has that moat with the government and defense, and Axon has the integrated hardware moat. So these are just great opportunities created by Anthropic for these two companies. Look at Tesla. Oh my gosh. How do we? Oh my gosh. I guess Tesla and not Robinhood should have been our top pick today, right? Holy crap. Missed out on this one. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I know. I see that. Holy
Was Tesla our top pick on Monday? Might
It
have
was our
been.
top pick. It was one of our top picks the other day.
Yeah, we didn't follow through. We forgot about it on Tuesday. We
I made
forgot
a
about it.
tweet. I made a
Slid into
video
one day.
on it, and I did nothing about it. I played it that one day, but man, if I would have just held those calls on Monday, oh my gosh, look at that. On Monday till now,
I think I was playing
Yeah.
calls on Tesla on Monday.
yeah,
but
we were. We got them for. I think I played the 0 DTEs that day and then Fridays. But imagine if I would have held.
I keep forgetting that these individual stocks now have 0 DTEs. A little disappointing pullback here in Sats.
I'm pulling up the waiting ret on the QQQs.
Wait, I want to see how many
what
people
the
watching
impact-
this on our simulcast. I forgot to go live last week. My apologies to Benzinga. I made sure to get it going this week. Is it live? Wait a second. It says it's live up here. Oh, it's live on YouTube. I never paired it with X.
Oh,
Oh, we're live on YouTube. I forgot. I did the wrong thing. I thought I paired it with X. Oops. I screwed up again. Here, now let's go live on we'll go live. We'll go live on X also. Ouch, that's 2 weeks in a row. I messed this up.
I already tweeted it out, Ben. You're good.
You tweeted
Yeah, we're
the
good.
Benzinga link out?
Yeah, I already put it out.
Oh, okay.
Inside our community and posted it. Now we're doubled up.
Right. But okay, I always like to simulcast it here for a bigger audience. All right, now we're
okay.
sorry about
I
that.
shared with everybody, and oh shoot, I shared it in the wrong place. Sorry. I shared. I'm sharing the makeup of the Qs with the Mag 7 stocks. The Mag 7s comprise. This is ridiculous. It shouldn't even
With
be
these
this way.
moves, these explosive moves, I think I'm probably going to try to sell on this next little pop to the upside, the hood calls. And then reduce that to get a lower strike price instead of the 90s. Probably go like the 85s.
Yeah, I sold 75% of the 90s. I still have the 100 lottos.
I have 15 left of the 90s, so I want to try to scale out of those.
Yeah,
The Mag 7 stocks comprise 40% of the Qs. And you're right, Rhett. Tesla's only 3.37, and
really?
Apple is 7.29%,
okay.
and Nvidia is 8.81. I put that in the VIP lounge.
Wow, look at Apple. It's interesting because a lot of individual charts are not at all-time highs, yet the indices are.
Yeah.
So that to me means a lot of opportunities left on individual names. Wow.
Yeah, for sure. USO spiking up here though. That's interesting. You see this?
Where's my US? It's not too sick. If you pull out, it's not crazy, but we gotta have our head on the swivel here and keep eye on the news. There's a lot of conflicting reports today. A lot. It's like every other thing comes out is like conflicting with each other in terms of, is there going to be a peace deal, a ceasefire extension, or is it going to escalate? It's like a lot of noise out there.
SOC also similar.
By the way, SOC, I saw it yesterday. This looks like an opportunity here. It's pulled back all the way to the 50 DMA, and these empty tankers coming to the States. SOC, can they put any of that oil in tankers, or it's all delivered via pipelines? Where's the oil delivered to? You know?
It is a refinery in California, I believe.
It goes
the
right
thing
to
is that these ships are going to the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
To go to Texas and Louisiana. However, I could definitely see Asian countries wanting to go straight across to California. Let's look at
is that the oil that SOC brings out? What kind of oil is that? Yeah.
I have no idea what kind of oil that is. I haven't.
Because even if they're not selling directly internationally, if there's oil in the States and some of it's going international, that can raise the price of oil, that they sell to California.
Yeah, but how many barrels are they producing a day? Do we know?
Yeah, they have a press release out on it. But then there's also legal stuff still going on over there with the attorney
Yeah, I
general
think
trying to
that's why.
stop.
The oil goes to Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo in California.
Right. So can they sell at a higher price because in Texas they're selling their oil internationally? I don't know how it works.
I have no idea how that works.
I have
I'm
no
not a
idea how it
landman.
works either. But I was thinking about that yesterday when I saw this go to the 50 DMA. I'm like, oil is America's selling more oil. Does that somehow indirectly benefit SOC sitting at the 50? But then again, you have the attorney general trying to stop the show, so I don't know. Might be an opportunity here at the 50. Oh my gosh, look at Watt. I sold that way too early.
So the oil is less quality compared to West Texas, and also lower quality than North Sea Brent. Therefore, it draws a lower price.
I see. Interesting. Yeah, US is continuing to move over here a little bit. I guess we're not going to get that. There's no like crazy volatility in Watt today. I was hoping for like a lot of volatility. I did get some on this pullback right at the VWAP, but then I flipped it 75 cents later at like 2070 or so. And I'm missing all the upside. Another $1 of upside I'm missing. Yeah, I was hoping for much more volatility to be able to buy the dips after I sell the rips, but it's just mostly ripping. I'm continuing to keep an eye on that for entries.
Well, bull's positive. Bull's above VWAP right here, and hood is. Let's see, hood.
Honestly, I think hood chart looks better. There's a slight upward.
Yep.
Right, there's a slight upward move to it with the higher lows. You can kind of make out
Following
here.
following the 20 chart, the 20 moving average chart.
Yeah. Roughly. The 200, you mean? The 200 or the 20?
No. The 20 minute. The 20-minute chart.
Oh, 20-minute chart. Let me see.
Yeah.
How can I pull up a 20-minute?
It's riding that yellow line right there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it has a little bit of a better look, Robinhood, than Webull.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially now, the 5-minute. Just looking at the daily moving averages, the DMAs. 5-minute chart looks great. Look at that, just climbing up here. I want to be surprised if we break new highs here in the coming.
It's looking good right here, man. All we need is we need that press release. This thing rockets like $2-3 in 5 minutes.
I think we could see it over 100, in my opinion.
Well, that's what we're thinking about. You know, in fact, let me pull up the morning note. And here we'll look at what I put in here for Robinhood this morning. So Robinhood, top trade idea. Look at this. A lot of targets hitting. EOSC target hit. Axon target hit. Sats moving towards the target. UMAC breaking out, but not quite at the swing target we want. But Hood, the pattern day trade catalyst noted above, and you can see that right here, had the 2 fire emojis on it. The pattern day trade catalyst noted above is one of the most material re-rating catalysts we've seen in the stock market this year for any stock in any industry, in my opinion. All right, and these are the target levels I had: 84.75, 88.60, 95.89, 98.37. Crystal clear on the daily chart. Very easy to read that chart. Based on the positive fundamental impact of this news, we believe the high 98.37 target has a high likelihood of being hit by the end of the week. A stretch target of 107 at the 200 DMA is not out of the question. Okay, so let's see this happen, guys.
Great.
So let it be written.
Cloudflare is moving.
Yeah, so let it be written. Yeah, you ever guys see that the 10 Commandments movie from like 50 years ago?
Yeah, long time ago.
Remember,
my grandparents.
Wasn't it
Charlton Heston?
Yeah, there's a line in there, right? So let it be written, so let it be done. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I did last night. I was like loading up Hood. Yeah, this is just so much fun right here at $80, and we had a lot of time. We're doing our research. I bought to 10%. I did more research. Took 50%. More research. Took it to 20%. Did more research. Bought my long-term account. Put the alerts out. There was plenty of time for everyone on our Discord to load up at 80 or below. And then I'm like, okay, I'm thinking of going more than 20%, but that's a little irresponsible. So I'll only do it under the poll out. And it wasn't a poll. I did Discord. I'm like, if 5 people like this post, I'll go to 25% right now. and it went to 4 pretty quickly, and no one wanted to be the 5th person.
No, that was me. I saw it and then I clicked.
Oh, you clicked it. No one wanted to be the 5th person, be responsible for me being irresponsible. Right? So then, okay,
I
you
had to
clicked.
step in.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. So as soon as he did that, news coming out right now, by the way, United States and Iran are reportedly considering extending their ceasefire by 2 weeks. So a little pop for the Republican accuser. So, right. So you put the 5, we got the 5 thumbs up. I immediately took my position to 25%, literally, and then I put it on X. Literally seconds later, it must have been like 15 seconds later, you get this candle right here, and it just exploded. It was just crazy. Like we really took out.
Yeah, because I had to start chasing it when I was buying mine because I sold ASTS and then tried buying it.
I mean, I bought probably.
You probably bought $500,000.
I bought close to $400,000 worth of hood at $80, and like in all my various accounts, long term, swing term, like day trading, everything. And probably with the rest of our Discord, who knows how many millions may have been bought at exactly $80. I mean, there was a big ass there, and we just kept chipping away at it. That was so much fun last night. And here we are now, pushing high today, hopefully. So this is my like highest conviction play probably since air.
Away from hitting highs.
This is probably my highest conviction pick since the air catalyst. I don't know, several weeks ago, and that worked out very nicely.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, look at bull, big pop and bull, Axon baby. Yeah, I already did actually sell half the bull because I was not so pleased with the price action.
Cloudflare chart is very strong.
Oh my God, look at Tesla.
They've been rated and upgraded by Piper Sandler to 222.
Oh my
Their
gosh.
52-week high is 260.
Oh my gosh, look at everything. Sorry, I'm just like, look at the Koru's trying to move too.
Yeah.
KORU, Tesla's just exploding. The Qs, everything's exploding, guys.
My gosh.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
look at Axon.
KORU is going to be crazy tomorrow.
No, look at pounds here. Nike is exploding. Oh yeah, how are call options doing on Nike?
Nike, yeah.
Let's see. Nike calls. I'm up 20% on them now. We get in at the same price on that? 34 cents I got in on that one. 46 calls. That was a top pick this morning.
I was 34. Yeah, 34.
Yeah, top pick this morning with a 46.83 target. Let's see. Wow, it is squeeze city right now.
Yeah, it is. I guess I'm just gonna hold these 90s.
Oh my gosh!
But it looks like things are about to go nuclear.
Oh my gosh! This is my best day.
Oh, new high of the day for Hood
in a long time. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank God, I really need it today. Really needed this. Got it. Making up for some underperformance here in the past month. Just one day makes up for like a month of underperformance. It's beautiful. Nothing like the stock market, guys.
I know.
And I
think you should go on the rant again about in downturns preserving capital.
Right. That's the key. Oh my gosh. In fact, so here we'll show the portfolio returns here. Here's the official account. So yeah, preserve capital during the downturn wasn't too bad. But I underperformed here, even though it's been up. This little upward move, like, really was kind of poor. Now this will rocket to like 80% or something or more after today. So happy to that. They're kind of underperforming last year a little bit. This is last year's chart. April 15th last year. Let's see where I was at. April 15th, I was at 111%. So hopefully we'll be at above 80% today.
Let's also check out the year-to-date chart. I mean, the yearly portfolio that we gave out. So
let's check that out. Yeah, top hot. But we don't. There's a static list. Here it is. It's a static list. We don't make any changes to it. So, 14% for the year, beating the SPY. The best sector is the space sector, up 40%. Look at these picks. All of them are green.
AI software is the only one that got crushed.
Look at AMPX is the winner on the whole list, up 100, and this is one of my biggest gains of the year in the day trading account. Made a ton of money on it. NBIS, man, my position too small, 91%.
You missed Sats in that list.
I did miss Sats on that list, on the space list. Yeah, I missed Sats. I didn't really know about it back then, unfortunately, but look at this AI software. I didn't anticipate the SaaSpocalypse. down 30%. Palantir, probably the best one to pick up on the dip here, in my opinion. And Axon, but that wasn't on the original list. So yeah, still outperforming. We don't change this list, but unbelievable how space has done this year and defense tech hanging in there. That's the update on that. All right. Axon over 400. Yay. All right. Love it. We never got the Axon calls, huh? I think someone in our community did. They just look too expensive to me.
What was that?
Beautiful.
Bird at 17. Jeez. I'm glad I didn't try shorting this name.
A laptop. When are we selling the Nike calls? Because I don't know. This chart's like, it's okay. I mean, we're up on them. I'm wondering if we should just take our profit or swing this. You want to swing this till Friday for the target?
No.
No. So when are we selling it?
I don't like that downturn right there. I guess I might sell them now. I don't like that downturn. Although I like the news.
Tell you what, laptop, your internet's a lot better. Did you go up on the roof and fix your Starlink or no?
Hey, I'll have to send you a picture of what I did. So I haven't gone on the roof. My roof is, I don't know, 60 feet. I don't know. It's really tall.
60 feet?
But I don't know. It's really tall. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say like 40 or 50, 60. Holy cow.
I don't know. Yeah, it's probably, but I have a really high roof on top of the home. But anyway, we have big columns around the exterior for the wall. And so I had bought this kit from Starlink to put it on the side of the house and mount it. But the roof sticks over and won't do it. So anyway, I put that on the top of the column. And so now I have the Starlink out on top of the column. So it was a good deal. So it's just our wall is so big and so tall that putting it in the yard didn't work. So
I just sold those. I just sold those Nike calls.
Good deal.
Yeah, only up like 15%. Wasn't a big position, but it's just I just want to focus on Robinhood mostly.
Yeah.
SoFi's catching a bid here as well this today, crawling back up. Chart doesn't look too bad. This thing's also been beaten up significantly, pulling back from 32. It was down over 50% at one point from the highs to the lows. Back over on the daily, the 50-day moving average.
Oh my gosh, my hood. I'm doing very well on hood today. This is such a blessing.
Hood's about to make another high here.
I'm up now $33,000 on hood in my trade account.
Beautiful.
This is my best day in a long time.
Yeah,
well, I don't have any options in bull, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm done. I had
Ben, you called out yesterday buying those $6 calls and you never bought them.
I called it out.
Yeah, you called it out on the show.
You're kidding.
Yeah. No, you're like, if you guys want a lotto, there's the $6, but you're like, I'll pass.
Oh my god.
Because I added them to my watch list, and I was looking at them today. I'm like, why do I have these on here? But I added them because of you.
Wow, is that why Storley added them? Give me a tag if you're watching. If that was because of me, I'd like to know. Live vicariously through you. That'll give me some pleasure. That I had something to do with it. But oh wow, look at hood, baby. All we need, we get that press release by end of the day. Oh, we're coming to the target. Next target, 88.60, guys. 88.60 is coming today, I think. 88.60 is coming today, and we are cooking on these call options.
Yeah, we are.
The appreciation.
I averaged up today, guys, and they're at 137% at the moment.
I'm at like 3.7% allocation now on these call options. Which one? The $90 calls are up 118% now.
No, I'm up 137.
Oh, from the original buy, yeah, because
I bought my average fill was at 30, then I bought some more at in the 40s. It was like 40, 45.
They're $1 now.
Yep.
So the second wave of the PDT thing is also the predictive marketing. That's another catalyst for a hood
oil pop.
Again, the 12 tickers I gave our Discord that I posted
Oh my
all
gosh, Tesla.
I know.
DraftKings.
I know. Tesla's. I
Yeah,
guess it's gonna hit
DraftKings
the
will be
50
a
DMA.
big on laptop.
391, 50 DMA target on Tesla. I probably should chase it, but
We've been
I
saying
don't
it since 375.
know.
$11, almost
I don't know.
$12
It's like I
later.
probably should chase it, but like I'm just enjoying Hood. I don't know if I want to take more risk on.
Oh. I just looked. Adelina, she had sold her calls at like $2.
She listened to you?
She had sold them, at $2.
Oh.
I don't know if she held them or whatever, but they're now at $6 for
Yeah.
Tesla.
It's been
She had
crazy.
the 387.50s.
Wow.
They're in the money.
Wow.
She picked that a couple days ago.
Look at this. Look at this Tesla. $23 today. Well, Hood's got to do something similar. I mean, wow. Look at this up and to the right on Tesla. Holy smokes.
Hood's going.
And I actually reduced Tesla, and I rotated some of the Tesla into SATS because I was afraid with the SpaceX IPO, some Tesla folks would rotate into SpaceX. So
yeah, but
worried
I
about
think
that.
that's pretty big with the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So I mean that's the first. So we'll see what happens
And who?
there.
Somebody else. Is it in England? No. What's the other country that just announced a deal with Waymo?
Nike.
Oh no, I know. What country was that?
I have to look that up.
Yeah, the market's
saw that the other
really
day.
setting up for a short squeeze.
11:25. London.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
It may just be like a ceasefire is extended for 2 weeks or something.
Yep.
That might be enough to get a squeeze in the market, like another 2-3 percentage points here the rest of the week easily.
Help oil. We'll see what happens with the Strait and getting oil.
The Strait of is it going to be called the Strait of Trump or the Strait of America? What's the official name of that now?
Strait of Hormuz.
Oh.
Remember,
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how this is going to work out, but Iran wants to be given or grandfathered in or be given what is it? Parental rights or
Reparations?
No, parental rights.
Parental rights.
They manage it. They control it.
But they didn't
Right?
before get fees, did they? I don't think they did.
No,
they got nothing.
Right.
And did you see the Prime Minister of Singapore?
God,
he came out and he said,
Yeah,
"Hey,
bird.
you want to talk about a strait? The Strait of Singapore, where China gets all of its oil through, is only 2 nautical miles wide. You want to start locking things up and charging fees? We're number one, the top of the list. So
wow.
you can't be doing that."
Yeah.
He said you can't do that. But he's very polite. And he said, I can't negotiate with Iran over this because this is a violation of international agreements that we all have. We don't think.
I'm thinking of taking profits on bull here.
How far do we think Hood's going to get?
88. It's going to get to 88.60 or 88.20. Over
98,
over 88.
$100 on Friday.
By Friday. There you go.
All right, so I guess I'm swinging. Doing the rest.
I think I'm taking profits on Webull here. Maybe I can get back in lower. Is that stupid? Take profits on Webull here.
11:08. Yeah, I think you're premature.
Yeah. Okay, I'll wait a little longer.
I mean, what's the high of the morning? 6:59. I'd wait till 6. Well, I'd wait.
Oh my God! Look at Axon, baby. Oh,
see if Bull can break 6.
Bird hit a high of 19. Sorry, laptop. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Who?
Bird, that company we said we'd probably short, is at 19.
Yeah. Oh wow! Good thing we didn't short it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like shorting. I don't think it's scary.
Yeah.
My
gosh.
Godfather, he was into shorting in our community. Remember that?
He was. He was crushing it though. He'll be back. He'll be back beginning of May.
That'll be fun.
I just don't see how that can be worth that much money.
What?
Just a few words to say. I know they got $50 million, but just to say,
Oh, that it's just a short.
know,
It'll come back. It'll come back down
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Problem is, once it gets really juicy to short, you won't be able to find shares to short it.
true.
Godfather has been on vacation, but he will be back the beginning of May. He's been on vacation since the beginning of the year. What time? 11:28. Wow, look at ASTS. Glad I sold those calls at the open.
Should I sell the rest of my Axon here, or is that premature too? Probably premature. Look at this, going to 20 DMA. 413. Yeah, I'm gonna hang on. I sold the other half a little prematurely.
Yeah, I was gonna say it probably could continue to run.
Wow. I should have held on to my cues.
I know,
It's
right?
629s and now it's 633. My goodness.
That's
do I still have
crazy.
anything?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, at this point, this is. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just don't. I think you're entering a territory here where this doesn't really have to do with the fundamentals of the economy. This is just a mechanical short squeeze developing, and I don't know.
635.80. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Tesla's insane.
Look at Axon and Bull. Wow. I mean, this is such a beautiful day for me. It's let's see.
Bird is just going nuclear. 19. I looked now at that 20. It hit 2250 in just a matter of seconds. Holy!
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's look it up.
Almost 800% today.
Wow! Look at that.
All right,
Wow.
2,000% turnover of the shares.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I should have spoken up when you were talking about shorting it. I went to the weekly chart. I'm like, maybe the target's gonna be the 200-week moving average, 2348. I thought it, didn't say it, should have said it. But maybe that'll be your maybe that's the peak at the 200-week moving average.
Wow,
Yeah, we'll see.
2350.
Right there.
All right, it's 11:30. You guys have any closing remarks?
Carpe diem. I'll say this. Remember to take some profits out. Okay. I have a separate account that's just like cash. When I make big money, I try to move like 50% of my profit into this cash account where it just collects interest, and that's used to pay off debts, which I still have to pay off. It's going to be used to pay taxes later, and it's just it's a great thing to do to keep your discipline. When you take profits out, then you tend to, like, if you don't take profits out, you just tend to keep like rolling it and be like, made big money in Hood. Now let me throw the entire thing into something else. And you get like, you break your rules, you become emotional. When you take profits out on a consistent basis, then it keeps you kind of more measured, and your emotions don't get the best of you. Right. So that's my advice in this market. We're just about entering that time where everyone's going to be showing their screenshots on X, and everyone's celebrating. And this is, right after that happens, that's usually when people get into some trouble. So that's my
we have 11 green candles in a row, and the last time that happened was September, and we had a 2-day correction, so that's coming, and we haven't had another. And we haven't had another 11-day candle move since October of 2023. So just think about it. Play the odds.
Yeah. Look at Nike. We sold those Nike
Be
calls.
safe. Be smart.
We sold those Nike calls early. Oh, well.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.